Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up?
So, Rob and I were just talking about a record, and we were talking about the lineup.
No way.
So, hold on.
Wait, here's the point of us having a conversation. What the fuck is up when they don't put all the musicians on the record on the back?
Correct.
It's frustrating. And Mike looked it up, and even in Discogs, they don't list every musician on the record.
So,
I think if you go to the wiki on this, it lists.
So, a lot of the Norman Granz stuff does not list all musicians. Sometimes it does, but a lot of times, if not most times, they don't. And Miles Davis records, like they just sometimes will have like a poem on the back. They won't like list all the musicians out. So, yeah. So anyway, so
Capitol did that a lot too.
Yeah, like on the Sinatra records, like no one in the orchestra is credited except for the conductor arranger.
Yeah,
I know that it's Horace Parlan and Roland Kirk, but there is bass and drums on this record.
So the bass is Michael Fleming, and the drums are Steve Ellington.
Yeah, Steve Ellington. That's right.
Okay,
but it's not listed here.
Yeah,
not even Horace Parlan's not even listed. So I just knew it was them.
I've looked into those Mercury, like that series of Mercury records, and like there's a Benny Golson. There's a few records that look pretty interesting.
This is good. I mean, the reviews on this record's very high. So
I didn't know that Austin was happening this weekend.
Oh yeah. Get in your car and start driving.
Yeah. So I've not gotten too much into Roland Kirk. I had one of his prestige titles that I ended up selling. It was more of like a soul jazz.
Yeah. The Mercury and the Limelight, which is Mercury, those to me seem to be his best titles. Actually, although the Impulse the one he's on Impulse, but it's not his record, it's Roy Haynes.
This was a recommendation from Zev Feldman. So this one on Limelight. Now this is not the original. The original has a gatefold that is like opens up and has like a pop out or something.
Yeah. But that's a nice reissue. There's so many reissues of that it's all over the place.
Didn't Elemental reissue that recently?
No, Verve by Request.
So I need to listen to this again. I haven't listened.
And then there's the other one where he's mainly just playing flute. There's a mosaic box of all his Mercury Limelight records.
I got quite a few of his records.
Yeah.
So who's on this? Let's see. It's all poetry. Oh, here we go. Personnel. So it's Roland Kirk, who's playing a few different things, including a siren. Yeah. And then Elvin Jones drums, Jackie Byard piano, and Richard Davis bass. That's pretty stacked rhythm section.
That's a good record.
I like his Atlantic shit a lot.
He has a bunch of live records.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you my story because I knew who he was when I was a little kid. There used to be a show called Wonderama. It was out of New York, and it ran Sunday mornings. And I think it was national. This host Bob McAllister, and he would have all different types of people on. And he had Roland Kirk on once. And I go, how's that guy playing 17 saxophones at once? Yeah, I was a little kid. That's how I knew who he was.
So I'll show a record real quick. We got
because everything I got is gonna make that pale. Like
this is just a shout out to JMI. They sent us review copies of this Myron Walden Flutes and Strings. So anyway, I got a chance to listen to side A yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot, and I feel like so it's basically a flautist, flute player in front with a string ensemble behind. 2 violins, a viola, a cello, and a bass. And I feel like JMI, they are so diverse in their catalog that I feel like, you know, the recent one behind me here, this was like recorded and cut in mono. They did the hard panned one. They have solo stuff. They like are very, and then they have all the Ray Angry stuff, which is all different. So I just feel like they look to diversify their like recordings. So this was not a surprise that they did something cool like this. But I really enjoyed it. And Chris, I know you had a chance to listen to it. What did you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing. I mean, I liked it. It sounds really great. I'm not a strings guy. But
Did you listen to the whole record?
Yeah.
Good
No,
luck
it's
getting
it's
more
very
records.
good. Whatever. It's a very good record. It's more classical to me than jazz. That could be wrong too, though.
I could hear that, but the flute, excuse me, the
Flutes are
flute
cool, though.
soloing
Yeah.
is really impressive. Like
That's true.
It really, like, it's very lush in the beginning, or not lush. I don't know what the best descriptor is, but it's like open and it does feel classical, and then he comes out and basically starts soloing, and that's when like the whole vibe changes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So anyway,
that was cool, though. I mean, that was pressed at QRP too, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, check out the hype sticker. Hold on, let me show you the hype sticker. Rob, do you have interest in this?
I don't know, but I'll have to listen to it. But does it say Chad didn't want to press this, but we did it anyway?
So it's got the QRP sticker that we're familiar with, but then here it says all analog production, press that QRP, Salina, Kansas. Right there.
Yeah, it's got the fancy jacket, Stoughton jacket. It's really nice. Can you show the inside?
Yeah, like this is such an audiophile pressing, and the reason why I say that is one thing in particular. So on the inside,
where was it recorded? Also say where it was recorded and who.
I'll look in a second. So
okay.
On the inside, you get the record in the QRP sleeve, and then they give you separately a separate sleeve. Like,
yeah. Well, they usually have those inner sleeves, stuffed inside of that. I don't know why they didn't do that. QRP didn't get the message.
There's more inserts here too. So they give you. Oh, this is cool. They give you this is JMI catalog. Cool. And then they do liner notes. So this is the artist Myron Walden. So they write. So that's cool. And then on the inside, the reason why the liner notes are an insert is because
nice photo.
It's a really nice photo of the group there.
He plays like 4 or 5 different flutes in it too, so it is kind of varied. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a beautiful.
Now, where was it recorded? Where was it recorded?
Oh, right. Let's see.
Probably
yeah. So JMI, they provide a lot of technical detail.
Yeah.
So give me a second. It might actually take me.
It's not like Mercury backs where they don't tell you anything about who played.
Exactly.
Where's it recorded? These are all credits. Mastered and cut, Scott Hall at Master Disc. Where's it recorded? Electric Garden, Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they spend a lot of time there.
I like them. I mean, I don't dislike the record. It just isn't necessarily my thing. But I'll tell you what, this one is bad. The other one is badass, though.
Oh, yeah.
So let me take it out of the stupid sleeve. This Max Girl, who we interviewed, he's a bass player. We interviewed him, I don't know, a year ago or something for a different record. But so it's Max Girl Trio. You got Yessa Farah, who I don't know how to say his name, Faraha Ali, and Brian Richburg Jr. But the tenor player on this is really kick-ass. So it's bass, tenor, drums. And what's interesting, who had what Ken Brown, Chris had a really good little write-up on his Instagram post about this, and he was talking about how side 2 was like much more free than side 1, as far as like meter and all that goes. But Deceit, the first song on side 2, has like kind of one of the strongest melodies on the whole record. But anyway, this is really, really good. And it's in mono, which, whatever on that. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I've listened to this like 3 times now. I would highly recommend people get this one.
I'm definitely going to do a write-up on that. I feel like that's a killer record.
Well, you better get to it quick because I smell Waka Brown starting a Substack.
So
if he starts a Substack, Mike's just going to have to delete his.
I feel like three of my favorite new records that came out is that Max Girl Trio.
Yep.
The one that I reviewed, which I have put away. I don't know the artist names, but it's that Paris recording that I did back on. They're new artists to me, but anyway, that record was excellent. And then what was the other one? Oh, and Jacob's record. If those all 3 share like a style, like they're very much like in the, I don't know, like acoustically recorded, tradition. Sure. And I love them. Those are like my 3 favorite new records.
Yeah, this one's really good. This is the one Mike's
That's
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
So it's Herman Mahari and Tony Tichet, I don't know how to say his name, but
Yeah.
that's enough, right? Soul Song. This is excellent. This is a we were again gifted copies of these. Comos Analog Home Session is what it's called down there, and so I guess Comos is the record label. So it's those two guys. It's Trumpet and Fender Rhodes, and the sound on this thing is just killer. They recorded it analog with a 1/2-inch tape, whatever, all that stuff. There's all those kind of details on the back. It was recorded in 2024, and then it was let's see, where was it pressed? Oh, Garcia and Company. So I've been really impressed with the Garcia and Company pressings. They're the ones doing Sam's, Fred Thomas's stuff for Sam Records now, and they sound excellent, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know if this was sold out or not yet. It's only pressed 500 copies, right?
I'm gonna use this as a way to promote my new Substack.
Jesus Christ.
So I reviewed it. So I'm starting to do reviews and writing about my collecting journey. So I try to have it from my perspective. So it's not just descriptive of like, oh, this is what the record is. It's like, this is how I got the record. This is what I know about the artist. Like I give you some of just the kind of context. So I try to walk everybody through that. And it's gotten really good responses. I'm almost at 100 subs after a week. So
nice.
So I'll share a link real quick to this review. If you're interested, follow me on this. Drop a comment, drop a like, and just quickly, I tried to like put a bunch of stuff out just to kind of have a splash. I did one about a deep dive into Mary Lou Williams in the 1940s, and then another one, this record that I was thinking about making a video, but honestly, I don't think a video would have been really that great. I think this was just a nice little experiment for me just to test Substack, but check this one out too. So anyway, I just wanted to.
Can we show them where they can get the record we were given copies of?
Yes. So let's go back. So if you go to my
goddamn pimping of your Substack.
If you go to my review.
Oh, he took over one of my morning streams.
Oh no. I saw that.
I got a bunch of subs. I love your viewers, Rob.
They're the same people that watch our shit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's probably 70 to 80% the same.
Okay. So anyway, so if you go to the review at the bottom, it says at the publication of this, there's just 21 copies remaining. Now, I don't think they sold all 500 through their Bandcamp. I think because there's other distributors, and I don't know this. This is just my assumption.
Just click the link so we can see how many they have left on the Bandcamp.
But yeah, so you can get it on the Bandcamp. I'll drop a link to it. You can stream it to see if you like it, but it's really cool. I like the last track in particular, so don't skip that. You can stream them all, and there are 11 copies remaining on the Bandcamp.
Wow!
You can buy the digital.
So, I mean, it's musically, it's really great. It kind of reminded me of like a super stripped down Freddie Hubbard CTI session almost.
It was cool. Yeah. I really liked it.
The road sounds really good.
It was a solid session. I mean, it was fun to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a duet. So it's like, it's really, there's a lot to listen for,
Yeah. And I just love the Fender Rhodes anyway.
Yeah,
it's got a really kind of wide dynamic range on that record too.
Yeah, I think it works really well. And I'm pretty sure that's recorded at the producer's house. Like that's his living space.
Yes. I'm surprised you didn't believe when you heard an electrified instrument.
Well, this was an exception.
The
exception is the Fender Rhodes and guitars, basically.
What about the vibraphone?
Is the Vibe electric?
Yeah. It's got fans in it to spin. That's what makes the.
Well, no, not that.
What?
No.
You don't like Vibe records now?
No, I like Vibes, of course. I just didn't. I think of them as acoustic. I don't know the mechanics of it. So.
Well, they got little fans. They got little fans.
Is xylophone acoustic?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, there's the difference.
Well, I know that there's well, anyway. So what do you got, Rob?
Lots of records.
Chris, are you ready? You want to shift to Rob's record haul?
Sure. Yeah.
Until someone talks something more substance. So last Sunday I went to the OC record show. We, for the first time, we kind of went when it opened. They have early access. We get in for free, but it costs a little more. And I I went to all these places. Here's the most interesting thing. So there was a private seller who I've seen at other things and bought from him, and he had some interesting things here. So let me pull these out.
Rob, while you're doing that, you said you got in free, but it cost a little more. Do you mean for other people?
So open to the public for $10. After an hour, it drops like down to $5 or $3 or something.
Okay.
So this private seller had these Sam records he called test pressings, and I don't know the validity of that, but he had the vinyl. So on this one, he had the Sumra Volume 2.
Oh, this is the promo you got?
Well, he said they were test pressings. They, they came in these. Someone asked for this from me already, but I'm gonna print out little things on here to make it kind of look more.
It's
like
very judgmental, Mike, of you.
He said in this one, he had this jacket, and inside was the one you have, Chris, the George Irma. What is it?
George Arvanatis trio.
Yeah, trio.
It's the one that was limited to 500.
Right. So I have this, and I put it in my own, and I've already made a.
How the hell is it in a Chet Baker sleeve? This guy doesn't.
I don't know. This is what he said.
Okay.
So, and by the way, I bought 4 records from him. The price he had on these were ridiculously low, and I talked him down from that. And then the final one is he had the Django Reinhardt.
Nice.
Yeah. So
very cool. Now that's 45, Rob. Remember, it's 45 when you play it.
Oh, that's why it was sounding so low. Yes, I know. So that was kind of cool. And I also bought which I think I knew, but I bought a Jackie McLean Steeplechase, was actually that was on New Jazz, but it's actually Jackie's pal, Bill.
Introducing Bill Hardman.
Bill Hardman.
Yeah.
But this is a Van Gelder. I have the
great. That's a great one, man.
Yeah.
Is it the what year is that? Do you know the pressing? Does it have the deep groove?
It's deep groove, yeah. So it's early 60s, 61,
nice.
62 or something.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of these covers. Since it's mono, they flipped back over the stereo.
Well, that definitely was recorded mono, right?
Yeah. So this is a cool one. So this is, I have another one. I have on this label, Gatemouth. This is a Danny Richmond quintet. And if you know, at this time, this came out in 1980. So if anyone got the Record Store Day Mingus, it's a lot of the same band. It's Ricky Ford and Jack Walrath.
Same band. Yeah.
I have a Jack Walrath record on the same label. That's really good. This is a Van Gelder mastered record. I looked at this company, didn't put out a lot of records, but like 3 or 4 were recorded at Van Gelder, and he mastered them. So,
well, it's probably really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Who's the bass player in that then?
It's
Cameron Brown.
Cameron Brown. Cameron Brown's bass. Bob Neal's is piano.
Yeah.
And,
so that would have been right. That would have been after Mingus passed away, right?
The Mingus 177. This was recorded in 1980.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. It's good. I won't read. I showed a lot on my stream, so I won't go over a lot of these. But
somebody did ask if anybody's getting the OneStep Bitches Brew.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that real quick.
Sorry, didn't want to interrupt, Rob, but I just want to make sure we don't lose that.
And we can't do anything here.
The Bitches Brew OneStep. I don't think so. I mean, I've got the MoFi already. I don't think I need a OneStep of it.
I have I think it's an original or second pressing, so I'm good.
I had an original, but I got the regular MoFi. That's fine. The 45, but the OneStep's 33, right?
It's not 45. It's 33. The MoFi. Yeah.
But the one they put out, regular one.
Mm-hmm. It's 2 LPs always. Yeah, it's 33. It's good.
I've had a couple old copies, or original copies, and I got a clean one for a good deal, and it sounds great. So
Yeah. The even the cheap like $25-$30 Sony Legacy pressing I first got sounded really good. So
I have I think mine's a second pressing as well. It's like in Discogs, it's like the same year, but it's the circular 360 label.
yeah,
And
I think
it's fine. I mean, I don't have.
Do you need to put on that special? It's special vinyl, right? So whatever.
Oh no,
It's
it's
a
not.
regular Mo-Fi one.
it's
Yeah.
bitchin'. It's bitchin' vinyl.
You know, I'd be more inclined if it weren't so expensive and like, you know.
How much is the OneStep? Is it like over $100?
Yeah.
$450. Let's see. And also, I did pre-order it 3 years ago, and then I canceled it like some.
Was it like 130? I'm guessing.
125.
125.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, unless like somebody comes out and say it's like the greatest thing that ever existed. I'm not gonna buy that.
I mean, I'm going to say one thing, and I'm not along with Mazzy on the box thing. Those boxes don't hold up well. They really do get shelf wear.
Well, they redesigned them too, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, but they didn't redesign them to be tanks. They're going to have wear.
So.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you play them twice, they'll be fine. But if you're playing them all the time, they're gonna deteriorate a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you can't. I mean, I know they make sleeves for those, but it's whatever.
Here's another question. So yes, we did. I got the Freddie Hubbard. I think Felipe kept the Kenny Dorham, or did he give that one away? I can't remember now.
I don't.
But anyway, they're both great. I would keep them, and if you're going to sell them, you better sell them pretty quick because they'll probably be worth a lot less shortly.
I listened to the Kenny Dorham. I bought it for a friend. It's fine, but like it didn't like. I'm not going to get a copy for myself. That's how I feel about it. If you're a big Kenny Dorham guy, maybe get. I mean, I guess I am a big Kenny Dorham guy.
The CDs are perfectly fine for a lot of those. So.
Now I will say the Freddie Hubbard's one is kick ass. I would highly recommend that one. It's really good.
I'll wait if that comes around and it's lower than what it is because I'm not paying $80 for it.
I just got something with Kenny Dorham on it.
I put it. So I played it and I was like, oh, this is good. But then I played Kenny Dorham at the Bohemia Blue Note, and it's just like that's one of those like super inspiring live sessions. So if you compare it to that, it's not nearly as powerful.
That's fair.
I just got this. It was published at or pressed.
I have other records to show before you show that piece.
It's our channel, so we'll do what we want to do.
Just being a Kenny Dorham, I've actually been listening to quite a bit of him as well. Like that 10-inch Horace Silver has Kenny Dorham on trumpet, so I was hearing him there. And then this I found in my local. I showed this last week, but it has Kenny Dorham and Wynton Kelly on it. I think it's like a 58 session, but Strata-East put it out in the 60s after both of them passed away.
Are you sure it's a 58 session?
I'll double check it, but it's not. It's definitely a huge a number of years before this release was.
Well, they did. I thought he did.
Hold on, I got it right here.
Clifford Jordan produced those three around the same period of time.
Well, no, but it was put out around that time. But I think.
No, I understand. I understand that. I've had that record for a while.
So 73. This was put out.
Yeah.
I won't say when it was recorded.
I don't know if it was recorded that early.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Okay. He died pretty early, didn't he?
He died in the early 70s. So he did play into the early 70s.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to do all those CDs, I believe.
Okay. Everybody's waiting.
You haven't figured it out yet?
It was recorded in 68. So
Okay.
68, so not 58. So I was way off.
I think they were all recorded around the same period of time. And by the way, I saw this today, but I did not buy it.
I have that.
Well, this is an OG mono.
Yeah.
It was VG-ish, and they wanted like $195 for it.
Yeah.
I think mine might be a reissue.
I already no, it was an original. I already have that twofer that has it. So it wasn't.
Rob, he said he thinks his might be in a reissue, not that one.
as far as I know, the only reissue of this record is in that twofer
Maybe not.
that has Sonny Chris.
Can you show the cover? Can you show the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is one of Creed Tower's first produced records because it's on ABC Paramount. I bet if you flip that over, it has a signature.
I found mine. It's a Japanese. I forgot. Oh shit! I got it.
But if you find that twofer with the Sonny Chris, it's like a $10 record. It's good. It's part of that dedication series.
Stupid.
All right.
Well, I think this is like glued on here or something. I don't know. It's weird, but anyway, yeah.
Your Obi can't come off.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it is kind of stuck on there. No, maybe not. I can't read who's on here though. Kenny Dorham, Dick Katz, Jared Montrose, Sam Jones, Arthur. I don't know. Somebody else playing drums, I guess. Anyway, it's a good record.
Speaking of J.R. Montrose, I have something to show later.
Cool. I'm gonna leave this out and listen to it now.
Hey, Dave.
Evening.
How's it going?
Good.
All over the records.
All right, Rob.
You sure? All right, I got a record. These are records I picked up today, so they're not.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is an Indian Navigation solo live show. There he is on the back playing.
That one's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't cleaned and listened to it yet.
I don't know. Like I listened to it and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna love this," and then I was like, "Oh, this is out there."
A little much.
I was listening
Maybe too much at the time for me.
Yeah. I found Record Store Day. I did pick up the reissue, and I didn't that I thought was put out on the reissues put out on Candid, right? And I think it was originally put out, but this is a 70s pressing that came out on Prestige. And originally this came with a letter from Mingus. I think it's a replica in the Record Store Day. I have to check.
The Candid one, is it the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing, but this came out in the 70s on Prestige.
Was it originally on Candid? I guess so.
I think originally it was sort of on Mingus's own kind of label. So maybe they released it and the rights stayed with the Mingus.
And where is that one at for guys? Is it Montreux or Monterey?
Monterey.
How is it? I don't know that.
I liked it.
People love it.
Good. No, the Record Store Day one is great. It sounds great, and it's mostly him playing Duke Ellington stuff, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much
okay.
all Duke Ellington. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Um,
This I found. All these are today. I found
hang on.
this.
Yeah, I'm looking it up real quick. I want to see when it first came out. When it first came out, it had like a yellow cover or something. Oh yeah, Jazz Workshop.
Yeah.
He put it out. And
So he's playing mostly Ellington stuff. Maybe that's why I don't have it.
I'm like three.
And not that that's bad or anything. But it's just probably
but he's playing it like Mingus.
right.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's
OGs are like $200.
Yeah, Danny Richmond, Jackie Biard, John Handy, Charles McPherson's on here, Buddy Collette. It's a big band. I picked this up today. I did not have this record live. This is on. This only came out on Status, and it's Van Gelder. This is pretty damn clean.
Risky.
And I don't know much he played with this lineup at all. I think he played with Specs Wright, maybe.
Specs Wright? That's a cool name. Think he wore glasses?
I don't think so.
Bullshit. Of course he does. When I call him Specs.
I found a German pressing of this.
Ooh, yes. That's the first one, right?
Yeah. Well,
Before?
I mean, yeah.
Yes. It's a killer record right there.
Joe Farrell and Stan Clark. I
Was
found.
it before or after they went to prison?
I don't know. Probably. This is 72. Did they go to prison after?
Yep.
If you don't have this record, you should get it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's one of the best deals out there too. And even though it's going up.
The first record is basically the same lineup from what is it called? Reflect. What is that? I'm blanking.
I'll be
And
able-
then the second record is solo. There you go. This is a cheap way. I think this is a comp of 3 Shahid records that were on Savoy.
Yeah.
And these are remastered by Van Gelder, and it's in the dead wax.
What kind of shape are those in?
Beautiful. I thought I sent you one already.
Oh, maybe you did. Shit. Never mind.
Go look. Because I have this. This will be in the next.
I'm still kind of butthurt at Sahib Shahab for that Sam Records release. It was so damn boring.
Sorry, hold on. Give me 1 second. I just wanted to show everybody
Damn it.
this record. So you can
Yeah.
still get a copy in really nice condition for about $30-$40. So I'll drop a link if anybody wants to grab it.
You could probably get this less at my next auction.
This is the US pressing. There's also a Japanese pressing and a European pressing from the same year.
What was the least expensive for a good copy?
$30.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, Moods is
It's
great.
totally worth it.
It's been going up a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
Hino's on part of that, right?
Wait, what?
Teramaso Hino's on part of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same lineup.
yeah.
What's the name of that record, Dave? The one that everyone bought the reissue last year.
Oh, perfect. What was it
Look.
called?
The Sweet record.
Yeah,
Reminiscent
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same lineup on record one.
Moods is great though.
It's
I'm
a
gonna-
double LP for $30. That's pretty good.
So this is interesting. I picked this up, but I thought Chris would like it. Rita DaCosta, who I think was more a soul singer, but with the Cedar Walton Trio, which I don't know how much they played together as a trio. But if no one knows this label, so let me fill you in on this. This was a private label by John Lewis, not the Modern Jazz Quartet. There's a jazz drummer, John Lewis, who was part of the Cosmic Twins. That's a Strata-East record that I don't think, if they do all the reissues, that's going to come out through Strata-East, because I think he owns the tapes. I found a copy of that Cosmic Twins. It's like a $400 to $500 record.
For sure.
But this label, Finite was his label. He put out a killer Sonny Stitt record with Sonny Stitt. He played drums on that. He produced this one. There's a one I sent to Joe. Joe, you have the record with him, and I forget who the other guy is. It's kind of a free jazz record.
Yeah.
So I picked this up mainly because that's from his label. So they didn't put out a lot of records. All right. I found.
What do you think about hang on, what do you think about this comment?
What comment?
Nothing? That's it.
What was that?
What?
Listen, Paul.
If you know, you
Canada.
know. If you know, you know.
Oh, I think you're drinking too much Robitussin. Do you have a
Yeah.
cola? So I found a nice copy of Virtuoso 2. Solo Joe Pass. This one I did not know this record. Does anyone know this one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is on Concord. And Bruce Foreman's a guitarist. There's the lineup of everyone on there.
Oh, Cables, nice.
Yeah. Very clean. All right. I did not know this one. So everyone has the Leaders record on Black Hawk. That's the purple cover where they're all standing there. And did anyone know about this one?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good record.
On Black Saint?
And it's cheap. That's cheap heat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cheap. Look at the lineup there.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I kind of like all the Leaders records.
How many?
There's
How many
That's
did
really
they get?
good. When did that come out? What's the release?
Here, I'll
This
pull
came
it up.
out in 1988.
Is that Soul Note or Black Saint?
Black Saint.
Can we see the lineup again? I was being stupid with the.
You're gonna drool over this lineup.
Oh,
yeah,
I already have one of those
and
records,
Chico Freeman.
yeah.
Hey, and also tomorrow I'm gonna box up your records, Chris, and send them.
Put that one in it too.
So they
No,
have
I'm
two on
I'm
Black
keeping
Saint,
this one.
but I think they have two on Black Saint, Brandon, and let me see if they have any on Soul Note. I thought they had more than that on Black Saint, but I guess that's
Just
the only
click
two.
Well,
the-
the one that's readily available is on Blackhawk, right? I have it right
Okay.
over here.
Yeah.
But that one's good, Rob. I was thinking of getting that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna listen to it, but not
Let me
tonight.
know.
Red Garland tonight. Okay, I found a nice 70s pressing of this today.
Cool.
Okay, Dave, you probably have this. I found this today.
No, I've had it in my hands before. I don't know why I didn't pick it up.
So
Is
this
that
is
Charles
I don't know.
Sanders?
I don't
Is
think
it
it's Sun Ra on Black Saint.
Sun Ra?
87.
Yeah, it's a late one.
So I've never seen this before. I probably paid a little more than it goes for, but with the shipping and everything, I think probably even.
This is the one I have on Black Saint that I've found so far.
Fuck it.
It's
Okay.
called Hours After. It's pretty good. Similar lineup.
What year is that one? 80.
89.
Okay.
So it's super
what do you-
late.
What do you think of those, Dave, in terms of Sun Ra? How do they hold up?
The late stuff's great. This, like, for example, this came out on Record Store Day a long time ago, and this is one of my favorite records from Sun Ra. It's live in New York City. Sun Ra and his orchestra, April 1991, so super late at Intermedia Arts. It's a triple LP. This is incredible stuff. Like, at the height of their powers, like the spiritual stuff, the avant, the free, it's all here, all in one. You get a little everything.
I've seen that once. It's not that much.
Yeah, and June Tyson's on it. Anything when June Tyson's involved with them, then I'm all in.
Okay,
Dave, what's the title?
It's Sun Ra at Intermedia Arts.
You can buy a download of it on Bandcamp, apparently.
All right, the last three are killer. I'll show those.
Killer.
But I wanted to show this because all the Kenny Barron that are on are crazy money. This one is not crazy money. You can probably find it's very affordable, but this
it's also hard to find.
Yeah, but this is killer. This is so good. There's the lineup. And the real discovery for me on this is Steve Nelson. So he's a vibe player, and most of his stuff is on CD. Notes and Tones posted a CD of his. I don't think he did anything much on vinyl, but this is so good. And this Steve Nelson kind of shines on this record, so it's really good.
I've said this before, but my friend in the apartment complex I grew up in, John Stubblefield, was his uncle. Is his uncle?
Oh, no kidding.
Well, John's not all around anymore.
Well, was his uncle.
His uncle. All right, this is 3 killer records, which I kind of own, so I'll probably pass these on.
Yeah, I like that record.
Yeah, this is I think these are all 68 pressings. They're very clean and they're Van Gelder stereos. Very, very nicely clean. You could see how they come through, how clean they are. So
that's the quartet? Yeah.
I love that record.
Me too.
You got 2 of them?
Huh?
You got 2 of them?
Well, I already have it in my collection. This is another copy. Okay, this I might take out the reissue of this and put this in. I've had it in other ways, but this jacket's very nice, so I might just keep this one. This is a great record, but the thing I feel after you listen to it is like you expect more. You know what I mean? It's a very short record, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a couple long songs. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, but I'm sitting there going, I want some more. So
it's one of the records that got me into jazz.
Well, and the next record is Love Supreme after that. So
no, well, hey, if you stick by. I'm waiting for a delivery today from Amazon. I want to show, and I hope Joe sticks around because I want to talk about it with Joe. All right, I have a mono of this. This is like one of the first records I ever bought, jazz records, through this whole thing. So I found this is a nice, again, 68 stereo. And this is a great record. This is better than Crescent.
Yeah.
That was my first. That was my first Coltrane Impulse that I bought. That's a good one to get in. It's gateway into his later stuff, even though it's a little.
Because he's playing a little heavier on this one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
That's a great one.
I have an interesting club pressing of that with an odd border.
I have had one of those Impulse club pressings. They're a little weird.
I think it'd be like velvet red border.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, see if I have it.
Okay, I have to leave early because I have to pick up my wife from the airport. Can I show a very small selection?
Yeah,
Of course.
I'm excited.
So, and by the way, Donald lent me that Cosmic Twins. It was pretty cool, but I don't think it's a $400 record or whatever.
No, it is if you don't.
No, I don't think
the value.
that's not what I mean. I
It's
mean, I
just
don't think
weird.
I'd pay $400
Well,
for it.
the fact is, just because it's probably one of the rarest of
Yeah,
strategies.
I'm sure that has. It
It
was good
impressed a lot
though.
of them.
It was very good, but
It's- I don't
you know,
know.
not-
Again, music. You could say that by a lot of Strata-East records, but it's just very rare. You
yeah.
can't.
No, I understand that its value is on its scarcity.
Yeah.
Speaking of Strata-East, so more Donald lens.
Oh yeah.
So, and this is very spiritual. I remember hearing it before, and I was like, I don't know. But listening to it now, I'm more into it. It's got the band isn't on everything. It kind of mixes up, but it's got Ed Blackwell, Marion Brown, Charles Falks Jr., Bill Lee, John Stubblefield, Nadi Kwamar, Saike Wanzanade, Jimmy Heath, Billy Hickens, Jerry Venable, and Aleke Kanonu. They're not
That's
on
cool.
every song. It's like
cool.
different groupings and different.
What does Bill Lee play? Bass?
Huh?
What does Bill Lee play? Bass?
I think so, but there's also, yeah, I'm guessing Billy is the main bass player.
Wasn't that Spike Lee's dad?
Who's it? That's Stanley Cowell. That's his.
Yeah, Stanley Cowell Regeneration. There's just a ton of people on it, but if you go through like the first track is Blackwell, Stanley Cowell, Billy Higgins, Aleke Kakunu. I can't read; it's too small.
Bro, get some readers. I'm telling you, it'll change your life.
Linda Baffries. I have them. I'll grab them next time. Sorry.
You have to share notes ahead of time. I could pull it up.
Charles Falks vocals. So, it's not like everyone's playing on each track,
That's cool though.
but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is I know this one's pretty popular, so there's probably a good chance that this one will get reissued.
Now, how does that compare to something like the Illusion Suite, which I know that you're a huge fan of?
Oh, well, the Illusion Suite's a trio.
It's
so,
trio, okay.
like, it's hard to compare, but I like the Illusion Suite more because it's one of my favorite records and it has a certain mood.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, it does have a bit of like a funk style to it. Is that not the right way you describe it?
What, the Illusion Suite?
Yeah, like it does.
No,
Have
I think it's more
has
has a very somber mood.
Do they use electric bass on it?
I
Stanley
think
Clarke.
so. It's Stanley Clarke,
Yeah,
and I think by then he was using electric bass. On Illusion Suite,
What's up, Fred?
Stanley Cowell goes between. He uses a Rhodes org and an acoustic piano, depending on the song. But on the first track, or maybe it's the second track, it's really cool because he starts off with a acoustic piano, and then when the groove starts, he switches to the Rhodes, and it's really a nice. It's awesome. you
Yeah.
know,
I
and
kinda
that's when
saw-
the groove goes. So
I have one of those '90s reissues of that. That record's
Mhm.
fucking awesome. But I kind of, what the hell is that picture?
stop
What's
showing
going on?
that,
Canada.
dude.
Um,
Wait,
but
I don't even know what that is.
Canada.
I kind of feel, Brandon, I kind of feel it's a little more funky to me. You know,
Illusion Suite or that one?
the whole out. No, the
Regeneration.
regeneration.
It's funky, spiritual,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely, to me, it's more funky than Illusion Suite. It's more, I don't know. Illusion Suite is really somber and almost
Yeah.
like modern music, you know?
I think
Yeah.
I think he did 2 records for ECM. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, I don't know.
But I have that one. That one
If
is
you
awesome.
find the
And
other one, let me know because I didn't know he had a second one.
I don't know. I'm thinking that.
I'll look it up.
I think it's just that Illusion Suite.
I think
That
Okay,
it's
was
this
regular.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like a
This is-
$40 record, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not crazy expensive.
It's only that's only what it looks like, at least as far as Wiki is concerned.
Yeah, this is just a various thing. Okay. Yeah, just that one for ECM.
Hey,
Okay,
and I
so
don't-
this is
Yeah.
pretty cool. This is another Bill Lee large group led. There's a ton of people on here, good people too. Let's see if they have a nice. There's a cool middle photo of them all hanging out, so you can see how many people are on it.
Oh,
I just listened to it once, but I enjoyed it. Let's see if I can go
What
through.
label is that on?
Oh, it's Strata-East. I know it
Okay.
doesn't look like it, but it is.
What's the title? I'll pull it up here.
The Brass Company Colors.
Okay.
The Brass Company is the band.
I got
And
it.
it's got like a ton of really good people. You know, Bill Hardman, Bill Lee, Billy Higgins, just all the Bills.
Bob Stewart on tuba, so Dave's out.
Trombone.
That record pays the bills.
It's got killer trombone. Charles Stevens.
Recorded in White Plains at Minot. I guess that's the studio.
Yeah. The guest artists are Clifford Jordan, Stanley Cowell, and Charles Tolliver. So it's a big group, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like a huge group. It's really good, but not. I wouldn't. This isn't one where I'd go, oh, I hope they put it on the Strata-East reissue. It's just enjoyable. Not like that Larry Ridley that I thought was just fantastic.
what about do you have Handscapes? I'm just looking at Stanley Cowell stuff, and it's
Is that the one with a billion pianos?
yeah.
No, I didn't like it. Sorry.
No?
And I
Oh,
like
right.
piano.
No.
Piano is one of my favorite instruments. So, but
Yeah, he
I
did 2 of
couldn't
those.
take, I couldn't take 20 pianos. This is Billy too. I sort of briefly showed this last time, but it's pretty cool. It's similar. This is more, you've got violins and bass, a lot of violins and basses, tons of basses, but some of the basses are bowed. It doesn't sound like everyone playing bass at the same time. And I don't think everyone does. I think it's kind of like 3 or 4 basses at the same time. So, but it's pretty cool.
Very cool. I like a bass ensemble.
Yeah.
I love when there's double bass, like 2 bass players on a record. They can get pretty creative.
Yeah, Smokestack is really good.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last one I'm going to show. This is really cool. This is an original.
Wow.
Nice.
This Jaro that I got lent.
Woo!
I have a Japanese reissue of this, but it's kind of fun to have.
I think that's also put out on Xanadu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I have
been
the
reissued.
Xanadu one.
What's the title?
finished.
What's the title of it?
It's
called The
the
Message.
one, the Japanese and the Xanadu has a gold cover.
Called it's the Message.
Yeah.
Okay.
See. And
And it's-
the band is
Montrose.
it's a really good band. Tommy Flanagan piano, Jimmy Garrison bass, Pete LaRocca drums, and J.R. Montrose. So there you go.
Pete LaRocca is always on those really rare records. Like I feel like all his sidemen work in the 50s like is all hard to find.
Yeah, he pops up on these ones that are hard to find. So if you want to collect Pete LaRocca, you better have some money.
For real.
If you find later J.R. Montrose records, he does not look like that. He has a big, like, kind of helmet hair.
Okay.
Kind of looks like he became a beach bum.
Did I get that right? That Felipe said that LaRocca record he paid $150 for,
Yeah.
and the one that just went on the Whatnot went for $1,920.
That's craziness.
Sounds right. I've seen that record come up a lot on eBay and Discogs, and it's gotten really expensive.
Hey, Delphina's going to
What
give that
record?
away.
Which one was it?
I have
What
the record.
Was it?
Basra.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
So how much do you think a Basra goes for, Joe?
it's original, like a mono or stereo.
Original mono, say.
Probably 1,200, 1,500 at least.
Oh damn! So that wasn't really too
I mean, it could
crazy
even,
of a
to
price.
be honest, it could even be more. I mean, because I actually got Mike, you might know. I don't know if you follow Billy on Instagram, but I found
Ooh, what's
I bought a
that?
copy he got
Is that a
month
mono?
or so ago.
no, it's a stereo.
Okay. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it was, but I thought that record was like one of those Blue Note records that, like true blue type quality or price, where it's like $3,000-$4,000. I don't know if it's quite gotten to that point, but I also wouldn't be surprised because that Turkish bath record, whatever, women at Turkish bath,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of
is another one that's
I messed up Joe
Yeah.
on that one. They had an original on the wall at Lunchbox once of the Turkish Bath record for 300 even,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
you
saw
can-
it and I didn't buy it, and then I went to go get it the next day and it was gone.
So I have that's kind of a cool story. This is a near mint copy, but that I paid $250 for a while back. But and it is perfect. But the kid who found it somehow knew it was valuable. He found it for 50 cents at a garage sale.
oh
Wow.
man.
And I had told the record store owner that I was looking for it. And he was like, guess what? And one came in. So I got a pretty good deal for different reasons. And the kid was super happy to get like whatever is $150 or whatever he got for it.
Oh, yeah.
And he paid 50 cents.
So you're talking you bought that pre-pandemic or a while ago, right?
Right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like
That was probably the time to get it.
2000, probably 2000. It might have been early 2019.
Hey, and all you poor people, you can get the perfectly good Blue Note 80 of that. Yeah.
This was a cool one.
$15.
Yeah.
This was when I was like everything. I mean, I had been looking for a copy of this, and I was deep in Joe Henderson. So it was a super fun, thing. And I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll pay $250. I don't care.
Hey, and
At that
also
point,
all you poor people, you can get the Turkish Bath record as Chick Corea's Bliss.
Yeah, 70s, yeah.
Yeah. For, I mean, not the same money, much
Like
cheaper.
30. It's usually $30, yeah. 25.
yeah,
30.
and that's what I have now. I sold my Turkish Bath, and now I have the Bliss.
There's a chance that might even sound better because I don't know how those Douglas records. There's not a lot of.
They sound pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
It sounded pretty good.
Iron Man is good on that label.
Yeah, they
The
sounded.
Wildflowers are.
They sound pretty much the same, pretty similar. They both sound very good, not fantastic, but very good. But yeah, I would think that the Chick Corea Bliss wouldn't be like a downgrade in audio.
I
These
have
are-
it. It sounds
These are
perfectly
later.
fine.
These are later Douglas. They have a different label, but I think it's the same company.
Oh yeah, those
Um,
two. Yeah,
It is the
Yeah.
same
those are
company.
good, yeah.
So,
But
don't get your
those
wildflowers.
were put out on Casablanca through Casablanca. I don't know.
Mine are Douglas. Mine say Douglas.
Yeah, but look at the back who distributed them. I don't
Oh,
know who
okay.
distributed the early Douglas records.
This guy named Phil.
Phil
This
Douglas.
is the complete set without the sampler or without
Yeah,
the.
hey, that went for good money at the auction on Saturday. By the way,
That's what did it go for? What did it go for?
I
Remember?
think it went for $83.
That's a
which is
solid.
cheap. Which
That's
is
a
cheap
great
That's a
deal.
deal, dude. That's a deal. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't pay $83 for all that, so
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I got some stuff. Can I show some stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Brandon, are you finished up?
Is that the kind of stuff you snort?
That's it. Yeah, I think so. I grabbed my Mary Lou Williams, but in case you wanted to talk about that,
Just show that really quick, and then Joe, you could jump in. I just know Brandon has to.
I just showed the two best ones: Free Spirits
Okay.
and
Okay.
Zoning and
Oh, that one's hard to get.
That's a beauty.
Zoning and Free Spirits. I think
Ooh.
those are the two best ones.
Isn't the Mary Lou? Isn't the one in Steeplechase? Isn't that one expensive too? Is that?
It
is that
wasn't when I got it, but you never know. It could be now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for Zodiac Suite, and I had it in my cart, and then I wrote an article about it, and I swear someone scooped it from me. I was trying to negotiate. I was trying to negotiate. I was trying to negotiate a better price, and I should have just bought it.
It was
I don't
Billy
show
from Billy's
stuff
Record
anymore.
Swan.
I don't show stuff that I want to buy anymore.
Kind of shot myself in the foot, and that was the only copy. So now there's no copies.
Ask Billy if he snagged it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I really do want to get the Zodiac Suite, and it was only put out because it's 78 material, and the only like complete reissue with everything on it is from 75 on Folkways, and it would be really nice to have that.
Hey.
So
Mike, you missed out because Mazzy had that in one of his auctions.
did he?
Or-
No, he didn't.
He showed it. Yes, I had an opportunity to buy it from
Oh.
him.
Oh,
Ingrid Mike bought it probably.
I think
Yeah.
Billy bought it from Mazzy.
I showed a record on here that had been lent to me, and I had bought it like that day on Discogs, and then I showed it, and the guy's like, "I can't find it now."
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
All right, Joe, jump in.
Yeah. So a few of these I've already shown when a few weeks ago when you guys didn't do the stream and Rob did it. I showed some stuff. I'd gone to Boston. I know, Mike, you had talked I think last week about going to Boston.
Yeah.
And probably best shop in Boston, Music Research Library. At least when it comes to jazz, I would say. I know that Dave, Record Bug, and now his new shop in Belmont, west of the city. Wantless Records is another great one as well. But Music Research Library always gets in a lot of like obscure stuff. This one I was not familiar with. I mean, both things that I got from them that day. This is a not Swedish. Actually, it is Swedish. Yeah, Swedish free jazz. It also is labeled on Discogs as being African. I really didn't get much of that vibe, but it does have this like spiritual free jazz type thing. It's like saxophone led, but it's also got trumpet, and then it's two guys on like bass / cello. So and it's title, that is the title of it.
What label's that on, Joe? Private.
MNW.
Yeah.
So it's like this I don't know if it's private, but there were not many records on this label. So
Yeah, it's private pressing.
there's that, and then the other one I got that day. This one just happened to have been in the bins. They have like a rare record bin. The store is not huge. It's mostly jazz, but they also do like funk. They do library records as well. So if you're someone that likes library records, they have a lot of those as well. But in their like rare record bin, they have this title, and the cover kind of just intrigued me a bit. A lot of times when it's really like I don't know, obscure. Usually it's really good. And this ended up being like mixed between
What is
jazz
that?
rock,
What
crowd
is that?
rock type. And it's the band is it's Exil, EXIL, and the name of the record is, so it's the word fusion and then EN at the end. So it's like fusionin.
Okay.
It's the only record. It's this private press, probably it might even been self-released by the band, but it's just
Is it German?
it's German. Yes, yep, it's a German record. But again, it's
But it
the
has
only
like
record.
it looks
by
like a
this-
Japanese or Chinese cover, you know?
Yeah, yeah, but it's just this again like jazz rock, krautrock type thing. It's got saxophone, which for me is really usually the kicker. If it's got either a good beat or it's like free jazz avant-garde, that's usually what checks the box for me.
Can you show the label of that?
Yeah, Mike, you're asking a lot. This record is not easy to pull out. So
No. Okay.
Such a
Oh,
hard
it's
show.
got one of them type of covers.
yeah, it's got like I talked about this with Rob. It's like the cover is just this like
Oh.
piece of paper that like folds over and then there's like
Oh.
That's pretty cool, actually.
so yep, and then the record just kind of goes. It's just it's
Kinda
in there,
sits in
but
there.
the record itself, that's the label. So it's this like yellow.
That's really cool.
It's a really it's a really killer looking label as well. And they allow you to they're really very free spirited there at the shop. They you can listen to anything. It doesn't matter if it's really expensive or really cheap. I did trade in some stuff. They're always willing to take trades and stuff. So I was able I traded in a few things. This one ended up being pretty expensive for what it was. But it's one of those things where a lot of times for me, if it's something that I don't think I'm ever going to see, I mean, it's for me, that's usually good for me. So hold on a second. So yeah, I got that. And then a few other trips I've taken recently. Buffalo. I don't usually find a lot in Buffalo, but when I go to my parents in Rochester, sometimes I will go out. It's only about 60 miles west of Rochester. So one of the shops, Revolver Records, they have it's become like a chain store in Buffalo, but they got in a copy of Sonny Rollins Volume 2. I was looking for an early pressing of this. I have like a Black Bee from the 70s. I don't think it's Van Gelder stamped because this one was only like mono at the time. That one sounded pretty good, but I was really always telling myself if I could find an early pressing, an original, or at least just like a mono pressing of it. So this one is a 58 mono. It's got the New York, it's 47 West 63rd, no ink. And it's just a killer record. I really love the 50s Sonny Rollins stuff. The stuff that's on Prestige especially is really great. And then his Blue Note stuff is great as well. He kind of followed that up. For me, the 60s stuff isn't as great. I think The Bridge is one of my favorites, but I don't know. I feel like my relationship with Sonny Rollins in the 60s is the same as Kenny Burrell in the 60s, where they're just, I don't know. It went in a different direction than I think I don't know. I think that it should have, but that's just my opinion. So it really doesn't matter. So that was that. That was a great one.
Sorry, I had to take a break for a second, but so what pressing is that? That's the
it's a 58. So it's the second pressing. So the original was on the New York 23 label.
Yeah.
And then this is like the subsequent pressing after that. It's the 47 with 63rd no ink. So it was before the jacket, I think, is like the next one. So it kind of falls. There's a potential that it might be like a 59, like an early 59, just because of the address on the back of the cover does say Blue Note Records Inc. So it's probably, again, it's hard to really know exactly what's happening there. But
yeah, man.
And then I also a few weeks ago,
I was just gonna say that's an amazing record that you got.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. And for me, I've passed, I think, a little bit of the Blue Note exploration phase. A lot of the stuff I already have, and I've got kind of similar to what Brandon was saying about the Basra, where a lot of those Blue Notes that I liked, I got pre-COVID or around the beginning of COVID. So the prices were much more reasonable than they are now. I also went into the city, New York City. Being from upstate New York, I was talking with my wife. I think there's a different reference to New York City. I don't know, Mike, if that's the same for you. I don't know if we as growing up, we didn't really refer to when we called the city, we called that Rochester because that was where we lived.
Mhm.
But we always say New York City because we already live in New York.
Mhm.
I don't know if
That makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe that's just
We
me.
we would say everything. So the city, New York City. I would say it was kind of assumed that if you said New York, I grew up in New Jersey, so
Yeah.
if you were going to New York and not going to New York City, you would mention that as opposed to
that's yeah. I figured that was kind of what it was. Yeah. I also went to the beginning of April. I went to Human Head in Brooklyn. Great shop. I don't know, Mike, have you been to Human
Yeah,
Head?
I think I've been there once,
Okay.
2 years ago. I think I went.
Yep. They've got a lot of great stuff, and for me, one of the things that I've started to get interested in the last few months is African records. And there's this one artist that I found a record in Orlando when I was there for a family vacation. And they had gotten in an African collection at the time. And this is the first record by it's K. Frimpong is the guy's name. And it's Cubano Fiestas. It's just this African high life, but it's got this great rhythm funk element to it. And the vocals are really great as well. So he's the vocalist. Was really excited to see this. This is an original and it's in really great shape. Show this because this label is actually pretty cool. A lot of the African labels are really pretty cool. So this is the label. It's out of Ghana. It's OFO Bros. So OFO and then Bros. So OFO Bros. And a lot of his releases, K. Frimpong's releases, were on this label. And again, the mid to late 70s. I think this was from 76. So it's kind of more mid 70s. But
So how does that thing sound?
Sounds great. I previewed at the store. A lot of African records are trash, so it's you're paying a premium for trash type stuff, but this one was in really, really great shape. So there was that. I guess I'll show the other one I got from Human Head. This one was more recently. They had this on the wall. I know Dylan, Nova Records. I saw him comment a little bit ago. I showed him this because I know he has this. This is this is a Zamrock record out of Zambia. So this is from 78. I was able to kind of narrow it down. There was no year on Discogs, but I did a little bit of kind of sleuthing. And there was only 3 or 4 records that had this label. I'm not going to pull it out because the cover's in pretty bad condition, but it was this yellow label, and the label was called, I think it was Teal, Teal was the name of the label. And there's only a handful of records that had a catalog number that was similar to this one. And those other ones were from 1978. So I think this is from 1978, but it's Ricky Banda is the musician. He's a electric bass player. But again, this is a similar kind of thing. It's a little bit more in the funk element, but he also experiments with blues and the classic Zamrock, so kind of rock type elements. But this one was really great. This one actually sounds pretty good. It's not awesome conditions, probably VG, but I was happy to have found this. So it was a good price for what that was. And then back to some of the more familiar stuff. Rochester, I went last weekend, and they had a copy. They had this for a while at the Bob Shop. It was Unity, obviously, and I think everybody knows this one. Larry Young, great condition for this. It's a Liberty mono, so it's the second pressing. There's no ear in this, but this is actually still in shrink, completely in shrink.
Oh, cool.
The record is mint, so
Unreal.
really happy to have found this. And I've been on some of the later Joe Henderson like mid to late 60s Blue Note type stuff. So I got this. That's a nice one. And then talking about Billy a little bit ago with when I was in Brooklyn at Human Head, I also stopped over to Billy's shop and I did find Basra. So
Whoa.
so I know that
We got
So
a
you
theme
paid-
going tonight.
You paid $1,200 for it?
I did not pay $1,200. No, I know Brandon showed this a little bit ago. So this is a Liberty stereo. So the price was a little bit better because of that. It brought it down a little bit, but nice condition. Cover's not too bad. But Joe Henderson is incredible on this record. And yeah, I've had this on my radar for a long time, and I really never even saw the 80th pressing. I know I could have gotten it on Amazon, but this was another one like the Sonny Rollins earlier that I was holding out for.
Can you show the back of the jacket real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's the original jacket. So it's not the Liberty era jacket.
Correct. Yeah. No, it does. Yeah, it does say the 43 West 61st Street. Yeah. Yep. So it's the original jacket, and then it's got the RVG and everything, but it's just or the Van Gelder, I guess at this time it would be.
And Liberty labels or New York labels?
It's got I think it is the Liberty labels. So if I remember correctly. Yes.
Division of Liberty.
Yeah, it's got the Liberty labels. Yep.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, nice, really nice condition. Also previewed this at the store as well, but yeah, this was one of the bigger ticket items that I saw it. And it's always great to support Billy. Billy's a great guy.
He's always got great stuff, man.
And he's always got great stuff. Yeah.
You know, it's one of those records that really stands up, like even when your tastes change. It's,
yeah.
And some people call it their favorite Joe Henderson record, which seems a little mean to Pete LaRocca.
Well, who wrote the song? Who wrote the songs on it?
I think it's like Steve Swallow and
Yeah, let me see what it says. It says
Pete LaRocca.
Pete LaRocca wrote 3 songs, and then the last track on the B side was Steve Swallow, and then the other 2 I think are the first song. It was Ernesto Lacona. I'm not sure, and then there looks to be there's a standard Latouche and Maross, Lazy Afternoon. The track.
Yeah, so it was LaRocca and Swallow who wrote most of the record.
Yep. Yeah, 4 of the 6 tracks were the musicians. Yep. But yeah, no Joe Henderson on that. But yeah, he's killer on that. And overall, it's a great.
I think LaRocca wrote Basra, which is the title track. I'm trying to remember.
He did.
Hey, Joe, here's another K Frimpong to look for. It's called Super Complex Sounds.
Yeah,
this is a reissue.
I think I've steered away from the originals now because it's just not worth it. I mean, there's one record. It's like K Frimpong backed by Vis-a-Vis, which was like this big African like funk group in the 70s, and it's like
that's really good.
There's one copy on Discogs, and it's in like described as being in great condition, and it's like $1,500. You don't even know what the interpretation for VG Plus is going to be, and it's also like to drop that much money, and
it doesn't have yak shit on it.
Yeah, 40 brothers.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, good.
Oh, you're on mute, Mike.
Don't tell me he's muted.
So I've been getting into like the 10-inch Blue Notes, and like this original would be, I don't know, like over $1,000. It just there's none available. It's impossible to find.
Yeah, it's probably $2,000, over $2,000 for the original.
Yeah. So anyway, but I bought this from Brandon, and it's a 12-inch, but it's just the 10-inch material, which is kind of an odd choice. But whatever, I'm happy to have it. It sounds fantastic. It's a really nice copy. And if you look at who designed this, shout out to Gil Malay.
Hey.
Gil Malay did a lot of the early Blue Note covers. He did a few Prestige covers as well. So he was a designer as well as a musician, an artist. He was just like a creative guy, like all around. I think he just had like a general creativity interest in everything. So
yeah, I think it's just like the Japanese wanted to have the original material, because it was released. The second pressing of that has like a whole
Yes.
another side of material.
Yeah.
The second pressing of the Blue Note with a different cover.
Yeah.
Which I have on CD.
But yeah,
Hey,
there's a series of the 10-inch of these on 12-inch.
Mhm.
So I think I just did it because people just prefer 12-inch.
Which one is that? What is it? The same title?
It's the same title as the 1500 reissue with the red cover, which is also a badass design. And I think that's probably Reed Miles.
Yeah, it's you. I think more people recognize the second pressing than the original.
Oh, the red cover. I see. Oh yeah.
And that's probably, if anything, classic series or whatever, they probably redid it that way.
I don't think they've done that one yet, but they did a Music Matters, I believe.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I found a copy and sent it to Loki. He wanted that bad.
So is this one here. So and one of the reasons why I also was looking into it is because Hank Mobley's on it. It has a really strong like lineup of guys, and I've been diving into my Hank Mobley stuff. And just one nice thing about Discogs is you could just put the artist in, and it shows you everything that he shows up on. So I pulled this out. Where is it? This is Live at the Blackhawk, Miles Davis.
Yeah.
This is volume 1, and it's Miles with Mobley on here. And it's really interesting to hear because the first track is Walkin', which was recorded like 54 on Prestige, and the tenor on that. So first of all, the tempo is completely different. Anyway, the point is, it's interesting to hear Mobley with Miles. It's a really nice fit. I could see why he didn't stick with Miles though, and he would look for someone later like Wayne Shorter or something like that. I could see how like Miles was looking for a new sound. Like Mobley, like they're playing close to like what's like the bop tradition style. He's killer on it though. This is a fantastic set. And totally different. Like why I would say like this is essential. It is the walk-in. So I pulled this out. I was listening to this. I would say this is essential as well, but it's slow tempo walk-in with Lucky Thompson, who sounds really beautiful on it. It's a great track. And it's the first track. And then Miles does it again in 61 with Mobley, and it's way more, it like flies. And what Mobley does to it, I think is awesome. It's a killer track. It's, so if you don't know this one is definitely one to check out.
Well, Impex did the Friday and Saturday night as a 2 LP set. It's really good.
Yeah. And this is, I honestly think I got this in like the $5 bin. And it's a 6i. It's not Deep Groove though, but it's a nice copy.
Mine's Deep Groove.
Mobley's good. I was trying to like think of like how best to describe him, but he's just like, I don't know. He kind of sounds a little bit on this, a little bit. I could hear like Miles Quintet with Coltrane. Coltrane definitely blows harder though, like without a doubt. It's like full on blowing hard. Mobley blows hard, but not as hard. So that's one difference, but stylistically it matches that era. Like he's playing like this in 61. Coltrane was playing like that in 56. So I could see why Miles was cycling through people trying to find like a good fit to take him to the next level. And that totally makes sense why when he met Wayne, like he became a permanent part of his group. That's what I was thinking.
Hey, Mike, real quick before Joe, are you going to leave soon?
Yeah, probably like 20 minutes.
Well, I wanted to I just got this delivered from Amazon, and I wanted to talk about it before you leave because you're the one who kind of mentioned this recording. I was playing around on the internet one night.
Yeah,
I was watching those things. But if anyone knows Charlie, they're a British company who I think they own the BYG catalog. And in the last couple of years, they've been doing like a Tone Poet style reissue of those BYG titles. I think they've done 15, but they might have done it. And they're excellent. Yeah, I've got the Don Cherries. They just put out another 3. For International Jazz Day, a lot of the people were doing 10 or 15% off their titles. And I went to their site and I saw this. So this is a Love Supreme Live from the 6th International Jazz Festival at Antibes, and they quietly reissued this last October. I think the Balisano Sounds guy did a video.
Yeah, he did.
He did a video of this, but I didn't see it. So what this is I think Joe had mentioned this a while ago, that there was a live recording from France, the only other one than Seattle, but it was a much better recording from this. So if you read the documentation, it just came in the mail from Amazon. By the way, this, if you order it from them and Charlie, it's like a lot of money with the shipping. It's like $20 shipping. I found this on Amazon for $23, and they had like 20 copies. So go there and look for it.
Let's unbox it. Is it a gatefold?
Okay, I just want to show. So apparently, there was known to be 12 minutes of this on other things, but
Right.
Charlie somehow found the recording of it and put it together and remastered it. So I'll open it. Here's the hype sticker.
All right. While you're opening it,
Yeah.
you mentioned that Belisario did a video of it. So here it is.
Yeah, so before I bought it, he played excerpts of the album, and it sounds excellent.
Okay. Well, if you're not familiar with this channel, I'll drop a link. You can check out this video. He puts out a lot of content, and he basically just does like listening sessions. So if you're interested in a record, you can hear it and then also kind of see some reactions. So
So obviously they didn't make this like their reissues of the BYG. It's not there's 2 LPs inside. It's like gatefold. But
how much was it?
It's $23. I'll send the link. It was $23. If you buy from Charlie, the list is like $40, and there's $20 to ship it. So it's Amazon. So inside here is a replica of the poster. Really cool. And it's in paper sleeves, but it's I haven't listened to this, but he played sound snippets of it, and it sounds excellent, even through the internet. So I highly recommend if you're a completist, or because Joe mentioned this, he found what did you find?
There was there were these like 80s French records that were put out. So it was like this French label in the 80s. And they had all of these like kind of colorful type covers. And there's one that's just like John Coltrane, A Love Supreme. And it was just this French concert that occurred months after the original recording, where he goes through like the entire Love Supreme suite. But it's a lot like a live performance. And it was really great. I mean, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've listened to it, but it was shorter than even the original, which, I mean, Love Supreme is only like a 32-minute album.
It's $22.50 now. It's cheaper than when I bought it for.
But it was a really, really nice one. But yeah, it's great that there's a little bit more of a mass, because that one is, I think I might have paid like $35 or $40 for that record, and it was it's like a $50-$60 record.
So
for that
so here's what's on here. On the first 3 sides is the Love Supreme, and then on the 4th side is My Favorite Things in Afro Blue. It says edited.
Are there vocals on Afro Blue?
Who would be singing it?
No, I don't know.
Your mom.
Hey, my mom sings Kenny Rogers songs. She don't sing this shit.
Oh, sweet.
There's a version of Afro Blue that popped in my head that there are vocals. That's why I asked.
There's only 16 copies left. Let's sell this out tonight.
What's up, Jacob?
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Is that the only? Did you say that's the only live version of
No, there's that Seattle one that doesn't sound good with Pharaoh's Hand.
That's okay. I was gonna say that's the one, because I remember the first time I heard that record, the LimeWire Kazaa Aries era. And that's the version that I heard first. And I thought that was the original version. And when I heard an actual copy of the real record, it was a shock because I had never heard the actual studio version before. But this is a different recording.
So this is the one version you heard first.
But the Seattle one with Pharaoh.
The Seattle one. Yeah, no, this is from they don't even carry documentation on this.
All right, cool. Well, we dropped a link to it if people want to check it out.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I mean, it's the quartet doing Love Supreme live. I mean, I'm sure it'll be interesting to hear for sure.
If you watch his video, the snippets he played, even through his setup, it blows away the Seattle one easily.
Yeah.
Well, the Seattle one is the microphone's right next to the drums.
No, I understand that, but this
it doesn't
I haven't
sound.
listened to the record
Sounds
yet.
pretty bad because it's just in a.
No, I understand that.
Spot.
So Jacob, what's up? We've been kind of going through a ton of records. I've
just been enjoying. I'm just watching.
What?
I've just been enjoying.
What are you up to? What are you doing? What are you listening to?
I'm still going strong with I haven't purchased anything new since the beginning of January, just because stuff was piling up. I was going to say tonight, but this is I mean in the wrap mint, but because it's not OG. But I got this in December, and it's not even open yet. I've just got stacks of stuff. Just the amount of record stores that I was visiting, things that I was picking up. By the end of the holiday time, I just had 30, 40, 50 LPs and CDs that hadn't been opened yet. And I just had to say, I'm not going to pick up anything new until I'm really have listened to everything that I've been accumulating. So it's there.
Oh, Jacob,
record.
Jacob, your connection's cutting out a little bit. That's all right. We got the gist.
Just
cut that one open though.
I know. The last time I was on here, everyone said this is the one to listen to. I'm like, I know. I've got all this stuff piled up, and then I still have a bunch of. I've been trying to down, and in the last few months, I just got a bunch of other stuff. So I've been. Yeah, they're all still in the wrap.
That's cool. Your connection is a little messed up. I wanted to know, how's the record sales going?
Yeah, let me know.
Sold out? I feel like you've. I don't know. How are they doing?
Yeah. So, and let me know. I know especially on a Friday night, like the internet in my building gets really bad because everyone comes home and is watching movies and stuff.
It's terrible. It's just like the audio will go out for like a second and it comes back in. It's not like terrible.
Okay. Yeah. I was just on the phone with Mike, InGroove Mike yesterday, because we did a bunch of events this week. We did a few different concerts. I'm supposed to be at a record show in San Clemente, do another thing tomorrow night, and then we're playing on Sunday. And within the last 2 months, I talked to Mike maybe 2 months ago, trying to get an idea of the numbers and thinking, do we need to look at repressing? He said, not quite yet. And then yesterday, the phone call was like, oh yeah, we need to do that like now. Like we should really get on that. I think there's somewhere between 100 to 150 copies left total, and that's it.
Yeah. Also, you're going to have to consider, and I'm no expert, but just based on what I've heard, supply chain issues. So if you do want to repress, it probably is better to do it sooner than later. I don't know. I mean,
right.
Who knows? Things are just kind of a little unpredictable right now.
It was definitely, especially COVID era and right after, things were really bad. People were waiting half a year or a year to get stuff done. And somehow, just when I got in there and I was super proactive about everything and would get things sent out in advance and personally meet with all these people. And I think I got the whole thing done. Just prior to that would have been unheard of. So, but now Mike was saying it's kind of back to that now. It just depends. It's pretty random. So, so yeah, I need to start looking at that. We need to think about, like, do I want to do the same quantity or more or less, or do I want to make any changes to it, or just do it exactly the same? Even things like the hype sticker. I mean, should it be slightly different? Should it just be the same? Like, do people interested enough in it, like, being slightly different the second time?
Maybe. I wouldn't change anything. The hype sticker maybe change. You could put like second press. I mean, you can put whatever you want on it. I wouldn't change the record though. I feel like I wouldn't. I'd want everyone to feel equal at this point. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, because I wouldn't want people to be like, I don't know, that are collectors thinking like, oh, it's a second pressing, like, you know, missed out or something. So I wouldn't even go there.
Yeah, well, maybe just the hype
Sam
sticker or something.
Records does it. Doesn't hurt their thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the benefit would be. I don't know if it would. I feel like it could possibly detract someone from buying it.
No, Jacob, you should make a hype sticker that says Downbeat's top record of 2024.
But the hype sticker could, I don't know. You could also hype it up and say like it sold out first run.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Again, with like 100 to 150, something like that remaining. I mean, that's like 900 plus copies in about 6 or 7 months. So I don't know. We did just over 1,000 for that first pressing. So I'm debating, should it be that much again, or maybe slightly less? Just, you know, with each repress, it might continue to sell, not at the same speed as it was before. And then you don't want to be stuck with inventory in stock, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. You gotta be smart. You gotta be smart.
Yeah. But it's on the horizon.
Cool.
Yeah. But again, yeah, I haven't dug into the stuff that's been stockpiling. I was trying to downsize a little bit of what I already had, and then in the meantime, I recently, some stuff that was in storage, I basically got 500 78s that were all my grandparents and my great grandparents. So I've just been going through those and cleaning those, listening to those. I've got boxes full of mixtapes that my dad made in the 80s and 90s, and that's kind of been my listening fun project recently. And so this stuff's just been kind of on the back burner a little bit.
How are you cleaning the 7 inches? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Or the 10-inch, the 78s.
Oh, the 78s. Sorry, 78s. Yeah.
The 78s. I got, it's not the spin clean, but it's the vinyl style. I think it's just like a hand spin clean, and you just use some distilled water and like half of a little drop of dish soap, and just really gently go through it. And I think on the box it says it recommends like 5 spins, but some of these I'm going like 10, 20, just really, they've been sitting. The oldest one I've seen so far was from 1919. So, 106 years old. Like, they've just been sitting there. No one's touched them in easily 60 plus years. So I've done,
that's
10 of those.
I was just gonna say that's a lesson in recording technology. Hearing something from 1919. I mean, that thing probably sounds like it's from 1919.
Rob, you gonna do it?
Things get better in the 40s.
But here's the really interesting thing. I'm not like sound engineer knowledgeable enough to know how this works. But some of these old recordings, when I put them on, I got a Audio-Technica 120 and got the Ortofon 2M78 cartridge, and so they sound great. But here's the thing: back then, there's actually a lot more low end on these than you would think. I think it's because the technology they had at the time to play them didn't support that. Like, there were no super highs or super lows, and so there's all these frequencies that I'm hearing on here that they wouldn't have been hearing back then.
Yeah.
To the point where some like OG, Rudy Blue Notes that I have, like there's more low end on this 1923 78 than there is on the Blue Note.
Wow.
And there's also a lot of high end surface noise that I'm hearing on the 78, but I could just turn the treble down a little bit to cut that out because they weren't capturing any sound recording in those frequencies. So you're just hearing kind of artifacts and remnants of the low end, and then most of the high end I'm hearing is just from surface noise on the disc. I think I'm not an expert in this, but they actually sound really surprisingly pretty good. And this one is not. It's not even jazz per se, and it's not. This one wasn't my grandparents, but I just found this before. This is an original 78 of Rock Around the Clock, and I know this is 50s. It's not 40s or 20s or 30s, but this sounds fantastic. It's really full and punchy. It's super clean, and stylistically, there's really a lot of genre crossover stuff happening in there.
Can you show the label again real quick? Can you hold that up? Oh no, you're cutting out.
Frozen.
Okay, cool. Very cool. I just wanted to see if it mentioned vinyl light on it.
So how's the saxophone sound on that, Jacob?
I mean, it really does sound like really good. It's got, especially like the effect that I was going for, like the intent of what the record was for. Like, it's real punchy, energetic, dance, rock, fun music. Some of the older ones I've been keeping a stack here. Like this is, yeah. And again, I don't know how many people we're going to lose by me showing these, but just some really old Columbia 78s. I think this was either the 1919 or like 1923, something like that. And they clean up really nice. And even if there's a lot of, because they're so dense, even if there's some surface scuffs or scratches or whatever, it plays through really nice. And most of them have, it's just fun. Like most of them have some kind of original. This is obviously not the original, but a lot of them have sleeves. And I had a great chat with Dave before about this, just looking through, there's not a lot of blues per se, but some of these labels, like if you find that one, I'm still going through them, maybe you'll find that one Robert Johnson or that one whatever that's priceless in there.
Looks like it's on like an orange red wax.
Yeah, right. I saw this and just thought this is just really unique. Like I've never seen different color shellac from that era. But it's there is a lot of not the Blue Note recordings, but it's a lot of Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons and Meade Lux Lewis. He liked a lot of Lionel Hampton, a lot of Fats Waller. And then there's also just crates full of, here's like a whole crate of Tommy Dorsey. Here's a whole crate of Benny Goodman or Glenn Miller. Just pretty vast genre. One of the
those Lionel, I think out of all those, I'd probably jump into the Lionel Hamptons first.
This great. This one I found. I'm doing some research on. I'll take it out of the sleep. This label.
Jacob, your connection is getting worse, but keep going.
Now you're getting blurry.
Yeah. That's all right. Keep talking.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see this, but I've been looking into the history of this Gilt Edge. Apparently, this was a really important indie blues label here in LA. I guess these are kind of rare. So I've been trying to do some more research on that.
That's cool. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Welcome to the madness. Oh, we can hear you, or I can't hear you.
Hello?
Okay, you're good.
Good.
Cool. What's up, man?
Hey, sorry. No, I just wanted to make sure you can hear me.
You're good. What have you been up to? What are you listening to?
Me?
Yes.
Oh gosh. I just got in from being out and at a cocktail bar. So this is I feel like I'm on the spot. No, I'm good. No, thanks for having me join.
Well, so what have you been like listening to? I know your collection goes deep, so I'm just curious. I just love, to see what you got there.
Yeah. No, I always have something to show, right? So my thing lately has been that, like, I've been DJing a lot, and I don't know how to DJ. So, like, I feel like in some ways you hear from others, and then in some ways you start playing stuff, and then other people tell you, no, you shouldn't play that music. So in a weird way, I've been trying to, like, conceptualize, like, what do I listen to when I'm at my own place versus what should I play for other people, and what do other people get into. And what I've realized is that people get into, like, funk and soul forward kind of stuff. And I feel like in some ways that's kind of dictated how I've been buying new records, like the stuff that I pay attention to, which is kind of weird because you'd think that I should just only buy what I'm interested in. But now in a way, I'm, like, interested in buying what other people are interested in. So I'll say this, like, I wasn't prepared to show anything, but I do have a couple of things. So I don't know if anybody's heard Billy Butler, who is a guitar player. But this album, Guitar Soul, like, so here I'll kind of show you. So Selden Powell,
Wow.
Specs Powell. There's a lot of Powells on here. Sonny Phillips, who's an organ player. I've been buying, like, a lot of stuff like this, where it's, like, soul forward, like, prestige, kind of, like, some Milestones, some prestige stuff. I just feel like I've been getting into more of, like, the soul stuff, which in a weird way is like the redheaded stepchild of vinyl, but also it's kind of what everybody wants to hear when you go and DJ a set somewhere. So yeah, I don't know. I've just been, I mean, I have a bunch of stuff I could show, but the highlight is lately, if you're asking me, I've been buying a lot of stuff that's, like, kind of the soul funk, soul, like, just kind of stuff. I don't know.
Cool. That makes total sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we have parties, my wife has a lot of friends that are younger than us, and like 30s, which to me is young.
Yeah.
And
No, me too.
I put on funk. I put on, like, soul jazz, and they love it. They just totally dig it.
Yeah, like, that's what people want to listen to. It's like, I can't even, I'll say this, like, 10 years ago, I would be like, oh, that's so contrived, like, this is so obvious or whatever. But I actually kind of get it. It's like, you want something that
it's not
sounds
really
good.
what's being made right now either.
Yeah.
And like, I'll put on, as far as, like, I will play, like, some blue, like, I'll play Reuben Wilson, and people just love that.
Yeah. I love
later Reuben Wilson, 70s, and people just dig it. So, it works, and it's easy for me because I'm like, I'll just play this, or like, here's a record I played. Let's see if I can find it. I should be able to find it. Give me a minute.
But that makes total sense. Oh, sorry. Jump in.
I was just going to say, to Chuck T's point, like, you put free jazz on, the bar will clear out. Like, people don't want to listen to that. So
yeah.
This is a great, absolutely awesome record to play at a party.
I don't even know what this is. Ramsey Lewis, though?
Yeah.
Ramsey Lewis Trio.
It's my favorite Ramsey Lewis. And it's not...
what label is that on?
It's on Columbia. But he does, like, these really cool...
Well, he had Maurice White was in his band.
Yeah, this is right before the Earth, Wind, and Fire band. But he does... he does one of the coolest versions of Slipping into Darkness. And what else? People Make the World Go Round. Got to Be There. It's it's really cool.
I've never seen this album.
It's
So.
it's a $10 record at the most.
All right.
And it is fantastic.
If you go into the Ramsey Lewis section, you'll see that record.
Yeah, it's really good. It's so easy to. I usually, when I see it, I grab an extra. Like, I'll just buy it and send it to somebody because it's so cheap and it's really good.
That's like me whenever I see an LA4 record. I'm like, wait, what is the LA4 record? Is it on East Wind? Like, depending on what it is, like, I'll buy that stuff and then I'll like give it to other people because it's so good.
Yeah. I do that when I see Modal Soul for like $7.
Yeah.
I grab it.
Nice.
And then it goes into like, if I send records to somebody, it gets put into it. But that's a great one.
When I have parties, we only listen to Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Mike's parties are all like
It's just him and his dog.
You're at Minton's. Like, when you go to Mike's, you're at Minton's. Like,
no, I totally get that. I feel like the reason, like, when you're listening for yourself compared to like, playing for others, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't put people through that.
Yeah,
I mean, I do, but I get it. Yeah,
I'm like, it'd be like that guy in the "You Should Leave Now" skit.
Jim Robinson.
Yeah.
What soul jazz records would you recommend for DJ?
Boogaloo Jones, man, that guy's pretty good. Joe Boogaloo Jones, and
he's got some good Prestige stuff, right?
Prestige. That, like, Vanami Please did one of his albums. I think you can find this stuff between $25 and $50. I have a lot of soul jazz. I mean, you'd be surprised how many kind of soul records I have. But Joe Boogaloo Jones is a good starting point from around that stuff. He's more funky, a jazz guitarist. I'm a big proponent. If you have not got into Curtis Mayfield, you should get into Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, Curtis Mayfield's pretty easy to put on at a party.
Yeah, that live album is probably one of the best albums I have.
Yeah, that's a super easy one to just put on, and all the tracks are, people will know some of it, so it's pretty cool.
Because his band isn't huge. It's like a
6, 7.
Yeah.
I was thinking on Prestige, possibly the Harold Mayburn stuff, but maybe that's not.
Well, you could get Bernard Purdy. I don't have a lot of David Axelrod stuff.
I think that might be too weird.
I think Mayburn can be good, but like what the thing is with the Prestige stuff is that you can stitch together anything from about like 1967 to like 1972, and as long as you like alternate it right, like you can put together a great DJ set. Like, you can have Harold Mayburn stuff that maybe is a little bit more in the hard bop space, leaning into soul, but then if you have like some of the like Boogaloo Jones kind of stuff, like, I don't know, I feel like you can put together a great list.
That's cool.
Here's Cheap Pete, Charles Earland.
Yeah,
good Charles Earland.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, or Houston Person, like any of these guys, like, right?
Somebody requested that you record your DJ set. I don't know where the comment is now, but if you did like a full Prestige set, that would be pretty cool to hear.
Oh, and I think it'd be easy too, because all that music is phenomenal. You
can also play like the 70s Herbie Hancock will totally work.
Yeah.
Not just Headhunters, but you can play other stuff.
Secrets.
People seem to dig it.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy, actually. I don't have to work too hard. I just have to go through and pull out like 6 or 7 records. And
Actually, here's an easy way. The offshoot label of CTI was Kudu, right?
Yeah.
Practically all the Kudu artists are soul jazz.
yeah, you can do Kudu, or you can do tons of CTI too. Like
Sure.
George Benson CTI is fine.
Well, so Brandon, like, do you DJ? Like, have you put together set lists and stuff?
No, I DJ'd once at a bar I used to go to, maybe twice, because their DJ didn't show up, and I lived like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
But that I brought in alternative like 80s stuff for that. No, my dad used to DJ at a radio station when I was in high school, so I'd come and help him. But I've never done it like a big party or anything like that. I just basically I turn on the stereo and turn it up, and most people are like, and all the doors are open in the summer, and I just play it loud. And so I'll just put on a record. So it's not that precise. It's like
no, but that's what any of us does. Like we're not like beat matching or anything. All we're doing is like spinning records, right? Like
right. But like when I have done it like at like the bar I used to go to, where I was, I had 2 turntables and I was playing track after track, and I remembered how to set everything up. Huh?
Speak for yourself. I beatbox.
Yeah.
Rob's like,
yeah, I do.
I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's wonderful. No, at home I just put on record, and when it ends, I go grab another one.
Yeah. Now, so Roberto, so when I DJ, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a DJ. Like, I don't know how to do anything. All I know is like, I like music and I like the records that I collect, but so I do 4-hour sets. So locally, probably everybody has, or at least everybody who's in a city has a bar who, serves cocktails. They're trying to get vinyl oriented people in. And the music that I spin and that probably we all like to spin is stuff that's more conducive to like a Wednesday or a Thursday rather than a Friday or Saturday, because they want people who are going to have, just more energetic stuff on a weekend. But I'll do like 4-hour sets. And lately, surprisingly enough, I'm actually, I don't know, like people are interested in hearing jazz, soul jazz, funk jazz on a Friday or Saturday too. So when I started doing this about like a year or 2 ago, I would only get like Wednesdays and Thursdays. And lately I've been doing like Fridays and Saturdays because people are interested in this kind of more energetic, I don't know, stuff that is like prestige, that is milestone. It's, sort of the soul funk era kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you could play that that Strata-East Charlie Rouse that just came out, and people
absolutely
love it.
Exactly.
That's and it's interesting, and I really think people are a little burnout on the sort of AI stuff that they're hearing, and just sort of the sameness of the music. So they'll just dig on some funky jazz.
Yeah. Like I see, in the comments, like Bobby Humphrey and Donald Byrd, exactly, like Herbie Mann. I mean, what's crazy is that we all gravitate towards like certain music. And if you stitch together something that's like, this is the stuff I dig, turns out that other people want to hear it too. Yeah. Fat Albert Rotunda, like any of this stuff.
Exactly. Here's a good one.
Great.
This is a great one. Or
exactly.
There's a ton of CTIs that I put on. Moon Germs by
that's Dakota. It's a Dakota.
Joe Farrell.
Joe Farrell Moon Germs is a great one to put on. This is Gabor Szabo Rambler. This is super funky.
Yeah, Roy
Yeah.
Ayers. Roy Ayers
Yeah.
is good.
Roy
That-
Ayers.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
The ultimate cheap heat is that Crusaders record, that double record,
Yeah.
where it's the side profile of them. You put that record on, it's an instant party.
Yeah, that's what everybody when you're DJing, that's what everybody wants, right? You want like what's funny is there's stuff you can play like probably backwards to forwards an entire album and it like just works. It's like the easiest thing.
Yeah, but there's a fine line. I find like some of that Gary Bart stuff becomes
Okay.
very
Yeah.
disco odd. It's disco odd to me.
No, I
you'll
got you.
know.
Yeah.
You'll know once you put it on if it's aggravating.
That Gary Bart's record will end the party.
Yeah, it certainly can. Like his like vocal, like I don't know, style. Yeah, that can end it. What do you got, Mike?
So this is our friend Craig at Analog October Records. This is his latest, Neil Ardley, and I was listening to it. I could totally kind of see how this would be good at a party.
Well, it's more Tangerine Dreamy.
Well, I don't know what that means, but I think
that means it's more atmospheric, kind of cinematic.
Yeah, I guess it's not like it's not an upbeat vibe. Well, there is moments, but it's more. I know what you mean. It's not like just like
you can totally throw on In a Silent Way, and people will dig that too.
Anyway, this one you can check out. It's at moments it kind of reminded me of Pink Floyd, the Dark Side of the Moon.
That's not going to be a party unless everyone's smoking marijuana.
Like, there's like it's hard groove. Like there's a lot of like really hard groove on it. So anyway, shout out to that. So yeah. Anyway,
what about the Chris? Are you into any of the Philadelphia international bands? What's the one band that was the backing band for every artist on that label? Whatever. That stuff is good. Chris, Brandon, do you have any of that?
I don't know what you mean.
Philadelphia International. It was Teddy Pendergrass was on that, and
is it? And it's the
there you
backing
go.
band?
Orange Margin saying it. It's MFSB. Get one of their records. They were the backing band to almost all the artists on Philadelphia International. Vinyl Me Please did a box of it when they were making records.
This is local Atlanta. This is local Atlanta, Rob.
What?
Is that what you're asking?
What am I asking?
I thought you were asking.
Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all they came. It was the Philly sound. It was the funk soul Philly sound.
Okay.
Am I going mentally crazy right now?
No, that's
probably
TSOP, right?
Yeah. So Dexter Wassell, that Dexter Wassell record that with the blue cover where that Kendrick Scott recreated it on the Blue Note record. That's a kick-ass record. TSOP. What's that one?
Isn't that the sound of Philadelphia?
Right. I mean, come on, Mike. You do your deep dives. That's like a perfect label to get into. Philadelphia International Records.
All right. So it looks like he had 4 titles on that. This is Dexter Wansel.
Yeah. So that Life on Mars is a pricey record if you ever find it.
Yeah. Okay.
It was I think Music on Vinyl reissued it. That's a great record to get into.
Oh, you know what? This one's good too to play. I play this one. This Louis Scott.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. It's got Carlos Santana and like
Santana on that one.
Got Coke Escovedo. This one's good to play at a party. Super easy to do because it you just put it on.
Graham Central Station.
Well, you know what the thing is, it's like I could put on like funkadelic and more.
There's sort of crossover because Houston Pearson was on that Westbound. He has He
Yeah,
has
but
a live album that is fucking awesome.
I
That's-
think, but what I've noticed is that like it seems like the soul jazz is a little even more sort of likable than like the funkadelic for whatever reason. The funkadelic is more for our generation to party with, but they're like more into this like other stuff.
What
Seems
about what about the stuff on Argo, like the Lou Donaldson stuff? Is that worth
yeah.
getting into, or is that?
Yeah, more like play the Lou Donaldson stuff on Blue Note from the 70s. That stuff's pretty easy to play.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Roberto, he doesn't need
Funky.
cha-cha music requests. But what I mean, from what I understand, ORG, who does those excellent jazz reissues, has gotten their hands on the Westbound catalog. And they're going to put out all types of stuff that came out on that label, not just funkadelic and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I heard about that funkadelic. Tu Blandia was talking about it. He said that there was an interview with, I guess, with the ORG people on Tracking Angle, and it looks like they're going to try to, really do a great quality piece.
The way they were talking is they should have put out some titles already. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what the supply chain issues are going to be in the next 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
Is Westbound and Eastbound, like, are they correlated? Is that like the same outfit or no?
I think they're sort of related.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Because there's like classic sort of stuff, like rare stuff on both. I feel like on both labels.
Right. So if anyone picked up the Grant Green Club Mozambique record, literally there's a Houston Pearson live record that's virtually the same people, even Grant Green's on it. That is a killer must-own record. Everything Chris is talking about is that record, and it's on Westbound. Let me pull up the name of it. I have it buried in this monstrosity of my record collection somewhere. But that is exactly, to me, what you're talking about, that record.
Oh, and these Buster Williams records are really good too to play.
Oh yeah,
they're smooth and beautiful.
Is that Heartbeat or what is that on the other?
Heartbeat and what the hell is this called? Crystal Reflections. And that one I like because Roy Ayers is on this one.
Yeah, but like anything that Buster Williams leads,
this is pretty smooth, and beautiful. This is good to put on at a party. Maybe towards the end of the party.
Well, if people are prepared to pivot on the topic, so one of the records that I just got in that I'm pretty excited about is this. So does this look? I don't know if this looks familiar to anybody. So this is called Collaboration West.
Yeah.
So this is on Prestige. It is 7028. So it's probably like, 56, 57 or so. So if you look at it, it's like you've got Teddy Charles, I don't know, Shorty Roger, Shelly Man, Jimmy Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting one because they actually very quickly put this out on a different cover that looked like dominoes. So I actually have that version too, although I haven't pulled it out.
I thought that was only pressed twice. There was an OJC of it.
Yeah. So this is the first iteration anyway, and it's a couple of different sessions from 1953. It's West Coast. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, thanks. So
is this the first or the second design?
That's the second design.
Okay.
I have that as well, and I will say, even though it's a second, that's the better one.
It's a so this says Reed Miles. I think that says, oh, maybe not. Let me see if I can see who the designer is. Design is Reed Miles. Okay, Reed Miles.
Yeah,
he did both.
Reed Miles. I'm wondering who did this.
Because I like the Reed Miles Sonny Rollins +4 with Clifford Brown cover better than the original one, which is I forget who designed that one.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing is that some of these I hesitate to even call them reissues. It's like just the second cover variation, right? Because sometimes they were like it was like the same year. You know?
This one, Brandon.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes even like the sometimes I like the UK covers better than the original.
Oh, the Esquire.
Yeah, the Esquire covers can be really good.
Absolutely. Like and you can get them for way cheaper too. Like the Sonny Rollins and Mal Waldron, like all that stuff. Like it's
and actually sometimes they sound better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a Benny Golson and the Philadelphians, and I just like the foreign cover better. It just looks cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Although the original cover is kind of classic, but I just kind of like the other one better.
So like these are, I'm trying to sort here, but these are like this one. This is the UK version. So this is his new quintet. So it's the one with the blue or green cover with the trees.
Right.
This is the UK one, which I think is pretty nice.
It's pretty awesome, actually. It looks like an Edward Gorey kind of cover.
So, yeah. So their covers are definitely pretty cool.
I have one that's like I don't know. I forget which Miles Davis it is, but it's really cool. It's the one with Gil Evans plus 19 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And it has the coolest like other cover that looks surreal.
Looks like that record, not introducing. It's just one of his first records with the blue and green kind of spiral stuff on it.
Spiral.
Yeah, it's like a drawing of him there. I guess it's like maybe it's a photo. I'm trying to remember.
What's the record? Sorry, I'll look it up.
It's the one that the normal one has.
It's Gil Evans.
On the boat. The woman on the boat.
Oh, plus 19. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, plus 19.
Yeah, he said that.
I have that one too, but the cover of one of the foreign ones is really cool, and it's like a trippy, almost like I don't know, surrealist looking. There it is.
That's way better.
Yeah, isn't that way better?
Yes, that's way better. Yeah, Fontana had some cool covers for sure.
So I always thought that was like one of those covers where I'd rather have the Fontana.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I have any Esquire. Those do get pricey still, though. Like clean, certain titles can get pretty pricey still.
I had that one I sold. That was a Transition title that they took the plates from Transition and pressed on Esquire.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that was the singer. That was a vocal.
It was a folk singer guy.
Chris, who had a vocal male singer on Transition?
On Transition.
Yeah, he was a folk singer. It was like a non-jazz team I put out.
Yeah. I can picture the cover actually.
It's like dark brown and white, right?
No,
yeah.
Who is that?
Blue.
No,
Here, I'll pull it up right now.
All right.
I mean, I have it. I have the entire Transition catalog. I just can't remember who it was.
You have too many records. That's why.
Well, yeah.
It's messing with your memory.
Oh, here it is. Sam.
Gary somebody?
Sam.
Yeah, Gary Sam.
Gary Sam. Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
There.
Oh, I have it. Here. I'm gonna step away. I'll pull it out. No, but you have it. Okay. Yeah, Gary Simmons.
Do you have the insert? Do you have the insert with your transitions?
Man, don't ask me about that. Like that stuff doesn't matter.
Oh,
it's like it's like the Japanese label Three Blind Mice. Like, don't ask me about the insert in the obi. I have the record. The record is what matters. Don't ask me about the insert.
Yeah.
Do you have the
I only-
insert from the new Coltrane Love Supreme poster?
Oh, what do we got here?
What?
Hell yeah.
Not original. Don't get too excited. But
No, I know. It's a
this
good
is what I
record.
meant by that spiral kind of similar design with the trees on the Miles cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's it. I've been listening to all that 10-inch material. That's like a new sounds one, I think.
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken. And all of that's really fun to listen to because I'm familiar with their stuff later on. So it's just like that's like one of the early Wynton Kelly records. If not, it's probably his first record. So hearing him trio, and I listened to Kenny Drew. He has a trio one, which is pretty interesting. How he plays is totally different than everyone else. Like he just, what I was saying, like he like really attacks the piano, like hits really hard, but still plays. I don't know. Still plays pretty straight ahead, but like the way that he accents his hits is like notable because it's almost like he's putting a rhythm on it when he's doing it in a way that I haven't heard anybody do it like that. So anyway.
Hey, Jeremy's asking a question about Leo Parker. I don't think Leo Parker put out that many albums, and they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, not the easiest to find. I would get the Tone Poet that just came out.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think he only
Because
did
the other ones.
He did 2 Blue Notes, I think.
You can find the Japanese present. I have a Japanese of one of them.
Yeah.
But they get the
We-
Tone Poet that just came out. It's how many records did he do in total? Not that many, I think.
Not that many.
Mike can
Chris,
look
I love those jackets that are just like the cardboard on them. Like the old folkways are like that. There's like some independent records that are pressed like that.
Well, it's like textured. Like
Yeah.
like you can see it. I think like it's textured. It's interesting. It's like
They're
and,
nice.
and by the way, I do not have the insert. So
I'm very curious.
Trash.
Like I'm curious at what level people just don't understand that did that guy take a big chance starting his own record label? You know, starting Transition at the time. Was it unusual for people to just go, I'm starting a record label and I'm going to take on the big jazz guys? I don't think that's really well talked about, at least in my experience.
I mean, it'd be interesting to look into. I mean, I'd say this though, that like these days, we all know some of these record labels that have just started up where they're like, we're going to reissue whatever. Like it's just as easy to say, oh, I'm going to like dive into a recording that's never been released. Like,
well, no, I don't mean if he put out original music or original.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, you're right.
Like there's several. I mean, we have one dude sitting here who did it with his own album.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about at the time he was a well-educated dude. He decided I'm going to start my own jazz label. I don't know what obstacles he went through. I don't know. You know, he was dealing with a lot of kind of gangster guys who had the big labels, big jazz labels at the time. You know, I mean, obviously he kind of didn't succeed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just I don't heard that stuff, and I'm not well read. If there is a book about him or something like that, I don't know of it. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd say is, at least in terms of the guy who started Transition, he ended up having a lot of success after Transition, right?
Well,
Like
was he a promoter, or did he go into another label or a big label?
So Tom, what's his name? I'd have to pull up. Maybe Mike, you can pull up the guy who. What's his name? It's Tom somebody, and he ended up doing something with like the. What did he do? He ended up having way more success after doing Transition.
I don't know. But I do.
I'm looking at it
I
right now.
remember the first time I saw Transition, I was like, what is that?
Yeah. So
there was something really uniquely cool about him.
So Tom Wilson is the guy. He started out with Transition and did all that stuff, but all of his success was after the fact. Like he put out this label, but then he did Bob Dylan, and then he did Simon and Garfunkel, and he did like Pete Seeger, and he did all these other artists that were way more important than, you know, these random jazz guys that he started off doing. Yeah, like most of his stuff was like, again, it was Bob Dylan, it was Herbie Mann, it was all these other folks.
What year is Transition? Is it 56 or something?
Yeah. So it was 50. It started in 55 with Herb Pomeroy. He did Cecil Taylor. He did Doug Watkins in like 57, Donald Byrd, all of that. But by the 60s, he was doing.
That's right. Velvet Underground.
He was doing Bob Dylan. Like he was like involved in all the Columbia recordings for Bob Dylan and Pete Seeger and all that.
Yeah.
So it was like a weird thing where like he started in jazz, and we all in our bubble, right? We were like, oh no, this is, what did he do in jazz? But actually he pivoted away from that and ended up making way more of a name for himself outside of it. Even though he was doing that kind of like Massachusetts recordings for like some of these jazz artists.
Yeah. And Blue Note bought some of those.
Yeah.
The Lewis Smith, that's a Transition title that he sold before he put it out. And I think there's one or two other ones.
Well,
that's exactly right. Like they were recorded for Transition, and then only when that catalog was sold to Blue Note did Blue Note be like, oh, okay, you have these things in your catalog. We're going to release that on our label. It was never released before. So the Lewis Smith stuff, that, by the way, is like $1,000 records.
Yeah, it's
right?
a 1,500. It's early.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Blue Note released it for the first time, and it's phenomenal music. It was well recorded too.
Yeah. I think there might be one other one that they put out too.
Well, they had bought them at some point. So I have the Japanese reissue of the Doug Watkins, but it says, the Obi says Blue Note. So it's like it's a Blue Note title, but and I don't think it says Transition on it anywhere. They just kind of left that out. So at that point in the, by 1980, it's a King. So, by 1979 or whatever, they must have bought Transition.
Yeah. And yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that Alfred Line would buy a catalog that early on. I mean, I guess that's, it's just business, I guess, but like, it's just interesting because that was early.
I mean, I think that's always kind of been the way. Like my friend who has a record label, they're always looking to purchase labels or acquire labels.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, hey,
yeah.
But you also get the talent, right?
Well, that's it. I mean, Tom was recording people that were at Blue Note, so like the connection was easily made, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, and Mike, that's like the Period records, right? Like Period was bought by and released, released later, right? Like all that catalog was
who bought. I was looking at some of the Period stuff, and I saw that I think Savoy put out some of it.
Yeah, they did.
Right, with different. Who was it? I can't remember his name now. It's not. I mean, it might have been Wallington, but I think there was some other stuff. I just can't think of it.
Yeah. So whether it was the George Wallington stuff that was on Progressive or the O.C. Johnson that was on Period, like that stuff was just pushed forward into some of these other labels.
I'm thinking Progressive.
Django was on Period.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Django was.
Yeah, Al Haig was on Period. There's a Sonny Rollins on Period. That's a really rare, expensive record.
Oh, yeah.
They have like but they do. I think Period does like more classical or like non-jazz titles. When you look at what they did in the 50s, I could be wrong. But yeah, also Transition does non-jazz as well. There's like a ton of like classical titles. Did you guys mention that?
Yeah.
Well, they also put out stuff that's borderline unlistenable. Like there's like vocalist stuff that is, I mean, it's like, I don't know if anybody knows Patty Waters on ESP, where
Yes.
you listen to it and you're like, this is nails on a chalkboard kind of thing. Like there's some of that on Transition as well. Like
wow.
listen to it and you're like, there's no way that I have any interest in listening to this ever.
But if Dave was still around here, he loves her.
Patty Waters, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a community around that, but I'm sorry. Like if anybody puts on, what is it? Black is the color of the something or other by Patty Waters. This is the stuff that will make you literally like pull your hair out. Like,
well, I mean,
awful.
the more mainstream is like Yoko Ono stuff
yeah.
But also in the jazz world, I think Sonny Chiroc's wife kind of gets that moniker.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So hey, you guys, I got to pick up
Yeah.
someone from the airport really soon, and one of my dogs is having a meltdown, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'll shut it down. I'm going to shut it down. Thanks everybody for joining. Rob, were you jumping in?
No, I was just making fun of Brendan's excuse, picking up some of.
I was going to let it go for a little longer, but we can kind of wrap it up. Yeah, I actually haven't really bought anything, or nothing's been coming in, so I didn't really have anything to show.
Hey, before you leave, Chris, I was talking about this album. It came out in October. It's a live recording of A Love Supreme from France.
Oh wow.
Okay. Charlie, it's $23 on Amazon. So I'm about to listen to it tonight. I just bought it. So awesome. Yeah, they just put it out in October quietly in Europe. So cool. I'm very anxious to hear how it is. I heard good things.
Okay.
Jacob, thanks for joining. Sorry about your connection. I would have loved to get in. Just join again. I want to talk about what's going on with your work.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's just the bane of my existence is my internet here. But I'll show this one real quick before I go. That's something that I really like about the 78s is when you say, oh, the Pete Johnson Albert Ammons album, it's an actual like a photo album, but it's an album of records. And that's where the term came from. And that kind of just blew my mind. Like, oh, it's a collection of all the singles. It's an album.
Yeah.
And it's just cool you have this one photo. And then, like you said, everything else is just blank, just brown paper. That's it. But
yeah.
Rob was saying something about, was it Tom Wilson? The transition guy, and just something that is kind of stuck out to me with all these 78s is maybe in its time it didn't do a big thing, but here I am 70 to 100 plus years later, and these things still exist, and you can still listen to them, and it's not just the same song, but it's the same physical item that my grandparents and great grandparents put on their Victrola and like sat and listened to or danced to or whatever, and it's physically the same one. And just that, just like we could find random records by digging somewhere, like who knows what the history was before it. Well, with these, I know like this has been in my family for 106 years, but it's just cool that the physical medium is like, this is literally what survives, and so much of this era of music we have because people collected it and saved it, and then we made transfers from that. So it wasn't necessarily the companies that preserved it; it was the people that listen to it and love it. So that's kind of like what we're all into. So
yeah, cool.
I've got literally. Sorry.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and this is I've got literally just 6 crates, just all the way stuffed full, where you have to take 20 or 30 out before you have space to start flipping through them. And so every day I'm just cleaning 5 or 10 of them, cataloging them, seeing what's in there. There's a bunch of 12-inch 78s that are all classical. Like, I'm not going to listen to the Nutcracker Suite on 8 12-inch 78s. I'm not. But a lot of boogie woogie, a lot of swing, all of the Stordahl, Frank Sinatra sessions, original versions of the 78s on there. So it's just cool to, like, especially because I never met any of these people, to like know what kind of stuff they were into, and we just keep preserving.
I would definitely check out those Lionel Hamptons you said that you have some of. I think that I'd be curious to know who he's playing with, and they might be pretty cool records.
Some of these just early Lester Young,
Oh,
you know, or,
Aladdin. Oh wow.
Yeah. Like some of them, it's like I'll be looking through, and it's like, okay, yeah, another Tommy Dorsey, another Gene Krupa, another this, and then so one thing comes up, you're like, oh wow, he was into some cool stuff.
what songs are on that one?
I'm going to take off, guys.
See you, Rob.
See you, Rob.
This is She's Funny That Way and Lester's Bebop Boogie. Lester Young,
Wow.
Joe Albany, Red Callender, Irving Ashby, and Forrest Hamilton, which I didn't realize that's Chico Hamilton's name. That's like his actual name.
Right.
No kidding.
It's Forrester. It's like Forstrand or something more formal. And Chico was his nickname. And
I would bet that sounds good.
It sounds great. A lot of blue stuff again. Wynoni Harris, Pete Johnson, Big Joe Turner. I mean, I love this kind of stuff too. But there's a few, I'd have to dig them out in there. There's a few small group jazz things that might be just local. My grandpa's from the Bay Area. They might be just local 40s era small group, small batch local pressings. I don't recognize any of the names, and he has like 7 of them, all the different tracks, and it might just be some group that he knew that was there.
Wow.
But yeah, like digging through, it's like, okay, do I really need, String of Pearls, Chattanooga Choo Choo. Okay, great. I've got, like a definitive CD set of this stuff already, but it is cool to know, like, this is the version that my grandpa wrote his name on and was like listening to all the time. But then you keep flipping through, and then here's a random Lester Young. Here's a random, no, I haven't seen any Charlie Parker or anything like that, but lots of boogie woogie and lots of that getting out of the swing era, but not quite bebop type artists.
That's cool.
Lionel Hampton stuff.
Was he a musician? Or were your grandparents musicians?
I don't know. I never met. He passed like in the 70s. But I think they both just really loved music. It's in the room over there. But the other thing is, I'm going through the stack, and this. I think these were taken out. My grandma passed maybe 15 years ago, and I just took these all out and I put them into this one space and didn't touch them since. And initially, my uncles or some people were just gonna get rid of them. Like, no one's even played these in 50 years. I was the only one that was really into, no, we got to save the records. And I'm going through it, and
cut out at the Jacob.
No, what? The pivot point. I mean, I'll say this, like, and we'll wait, and Jacob will come back in, but like, I get it. Like, you know how much association I have with my grandparents and like the music that they listened to, and like, my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and the music that he associated with, and he was a guy who was drafted in the war, and I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, we all have different associations with music, and I think it's fantastic when you hear these kind of stories, and I kind of want to hear more, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I lost them. But
yeah, I've inherited records from my grandparents and my parents at this point, and it's nice to have them. Like, I have one where my grandmother wrote her name on it. So it's pretty cool. So it is nice to have that connection for sure. And to have 78 Lester Young records, that's cool. My
as soon as you said like, I have these Lester Young, but not the Charlie Parker, I'm like, I don't care. You have Lester Young? What the fuck?
That's awesome. On Aladdin.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's cool. Oh, he's back. Hey, you cut out.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that.
You were
just to say, I'm going through these, and then it wedged in between, just like really subtly hidden, forgot about. I'm going through these records, and there'll be like little notes or pieces of paper, probably something that was just like a note that they wrote and forgot. And I'm going through, and I find this is my grandpa's high school graduation program.
Whoa.
Class of 1941, like perfectly preserved in between the records. And just like to like go through, and like I could see like his name like in the list of graduates.
Wait. Can I ask? Was he drafted? Did he
So-
after he graduated? Was he drafted?
Next to that program, I find this and this.
Yeah,
He was in the Navy, and like this is like wedged next to his high school graduation like program, in between just the stacks of records. Like no one knew that it had been sitting there since the 40s or 50s.
yeah.
So it's just like this, like a little like that's like a family heirloom thing that I just found
Oh,
like in between this Lester Young record and Tommy Dorsey or something, you know. So just to find this kind of stuff like wedged in there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He probably would like your record.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but maybe. The crazy thing to me is like listening to some of these really early Columbia, 1923, and then you put on the Lester Young record, and you're thinking this is only 20 years later, and then to go from that Lester Young record from that to some Hank Mobley record that's like 20 years later, like just the leaps and bounds of technology and style of music. So I don't know if he would have been into this. But another crazy thing is I'm going through all these mixtapes that my dad had made, and there's no J card. It's just like on the cassette, it'll say, it's just cool to see in his handwriting. It'll say like good dance music for parties. And I put the tape on, and like it's all Glenn Miller. And I'm like, he made this tape in '86. What kind of parties are you having? Like who is sitting around listening to, by that point, 40-year-old tracks? And I'm like, well, I'm sitting here listening to 60-year-old Hank Mobley tracks. But, and it'll be just like all. And so my project has been, I found a bunch of blank J cards, and I'm just like making the track listings myself of everything. And it's all tapes that he made from records or other tapes or 8 tracks. And so I can hear like the needle drop, and it's like I'm sitting there listening to him make the mixtape, and I'm like writing out on the tracks as I hear them.
Yeah.
And it'll be a whole side of Glenn Miller, and then like one Christopher Cross song or like Engelbert Humperdinck. Like, why is this on there? Like there's no continuity, just randomly, T for Two Cha-Cha is on there. Like, okay. But so that's been, again, fueling my not buying anything new, just because I've now just acquired so much stuff to go through. Here's a Frank Sinatra 50 to 86. So he must have made this tape around 86.
That's speaking Mike's language.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just me listening, going, okay, well, that's Strangers of the Night. That's Softly. It's that, like, just knowing, like, I know all these songs. I know all this song and this song. And, a 40-plus-year-old consumer cassette, it's not going to be the best fidelity, but it's certainly more of the experience of listening to it. Like, he made this himself, and I can hear the record going, or I can hear one song is skipping, and like you can hear when he fixes it, and I can see him like getting up to fix it and like changing it.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It's printed on the tape,
Very
so
cool.
It's just that experience of the physical medium. Like you don't get any of this you're not going to find your grandparents' Spotify playlist somewhere, but you're going to find like the record that they owned, that they wrote their name on, or their address, or
Yeah.
So that's
or what you grew up like in the house listening to because they had it in the background. Like when I grew up going to my grandparents' place, they had one of those massive furniture units that was playing Bing Crosby, and it was playing Frank Sinatra, and it was playing like, all of these old school people. Like that's what it is. Like that's like that kind of connection. That's amazing.
And again, it's weird. Like when I just think of, I don't know, like my grandpa, my dad's dad, like he passed when my dad was pretty young too. So I'm confident these were made from reissue LPs, not from the original 78s that my grandpa had. But there'll be certain songs that come up that I have an original. This actually, it's here. This I'd never heard this tune before. But again, just like crates and crates and crates, like you got to be careful with them, but you're also digging through them. Nat King Cole on Capitol.
Well, you know, one little factoid is there was a musicians union strike in the early 40s. So what Columbia would do is reissue their back catalog because they couldn't record. So it would be interesting to see what dates are on those records if they're part of the strike era, like Columbia Sinatra, or the earlier ones when they first were released. And it's interesting, like I can't remember the title now, but Frank had a hit of a reissue of like a re-release, and the original release didn't chart at all. But when they released it in the 40s, it became like a #1 hit or something. So you would know it. I just can't remember the track, but
some of these tunes, like this record, Eddie Arnold, it's more of like a country kind of pop thing, and I do like some good country stuff. On Majestic, like this track, it's really interesting because I'm sitting here, you know, this is my grandpa's 78, but that tune also appears on one of the mixtapes that my dad made. So I'm thinking, like, did he learn that song from him? Was he playing? Yeah, like from this? Did he first hear it from this? I don't think on the cassette it's coming from this. I think by the 80s, my dad wouldn't have been playing 78s.
No.
But like maybe he was introduced to that song by his dad, or is it just coincidence? And he just also really liked it, and it's just, I don't know. And now I'm listening to it and I like it. And so I've gone and created like a YouTube playlist for myself where all the tracks on here, I just like add them to a YouTube list. So I have that. I can either play the tapes or the records, or I can take that list with me to stream somewhere.
That's a great idea.
Some exclusive. I don't know, some of these labels, it like really makes me, you know, have to do some research on what was their.
One label to look out for is Keynote. They like recorded a ton of jazz, and none of it, very, very little of it, got to LP. I think there's a box in the 80s, but before that, it pretty much just stayed as 78. So, and there's a lot of good players on Keynote.
Also, so Jacob, like, how do you play this stuff?
Oh, so I got a Audio-Technica 120. Yeah. And on a lot of those tables, if you just engage, if it has this feature, you just engage the 45 and the 33 at the same time, and now it's 78.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Not all tables do that, but like a lot of the direct drives do, a lot of DJ tables. And so you'll see it'll say 33, 45, and above that's a 78 bracket if you engage both of them.
So wait, hold on. So when you do that, like the stylus is okay with interacting with essentially shellac?
No. So that's the other part is, you know, this table has a removable head shell, and I just have or you know, you could, yeah, that's how you say it, right? The head shell is removable, and so I had to get another cartridge with a bigger stylus that would adapt to that. So I'm just changing. I got the Ortofon 2M78. And yeah, I know it's a bigger stylus and a different cartridge. So you just switch it depending on what you're listening to.
No, that makes sense. Sorry, go on.
Oh, but behind me, kind of here, I found this. This is my previous table. I just kind of put it. It's in timeout over there. And below that is the 60s era RCA Victrola, and it's like a party table. It's a 4-speed, which I didn't know existed. 78, 33, 45, and 16.
Oh, love the 16. Yeah,
and it's got these speakers that they can hide in the front, or you can take them out. And my initial, I didn't realize the deck itself was in there. I thought it was like I was going to be able to put my other table in there, which I could. But now it's like, oh man, do I spend the time and energy and money to like build out this table? But like you just said, it doesn't have a removable head shell. Like you could play these different speeds. You're just either going to be trashing anything that's not a 78. You're going to kill the grooves, or you're just going to like not hear it well if you're playing anything besides 45s and 33s.
Jacob, so, you got to get one of these. Prestige had a 16 RPM series, and they're basically double albums for the most part. And yeah, you could play them. I would love to get one, but it would be useless for me.
So each of those, bring it back up.
This is oh.
So I have each of these releases, they're 16 RPM, and every single one of them, even though you think like Concord and MJQ, right, or like Billy Taylor, like whatever that is, or Miles Davis, each of these releases are 2 albums worth onto a single disc. And the reason why is because it's 16 RPM at the same time that 45 RPM is super fast. And so you need to have like multiple discs. 16 RPM means you can actually fit 2 albums on the same disc. So every single one of these, like typically anyway, is the first time that these albums were ever released on record. So if you look at the Modern Jazz Survey by George Wallington, the Pepper Adams, like Miles Davis, like these are, it was done at 16 RPM, and you could fit double the music onto the same disc. And so it's like, I don't know, it's just super interesting to me. So early on when I was collecting, I made sure to buy all of these, because if you wanted to buy the 33 RPM, you'd be spending like 5 times it. You could get the 16 RPM as long as you had a way to play it for like, you buy it for like, 20 or $30 at the time. But
So this is a needle drop. I'm not going to play it, but you can see how slow it is. Look how slow that thing goes.
Yeah. It makes you nervous.
I will say, like, I've been using the 78s for 2 weeks now, and I'm so used to that speed. And I put on a regular LP, and it just looked like it was slow motion to me. Like the 78s move. It's kind of jarring. That's
I had a chance to listen to the 78s a couple weekends ago, and I was trying to look at the label to see the song name, and you couldn't. It goes too quick. You couldn't read it. So they definitely spin fast. I love it though. I just think it's an interesting era. I feel like there's. I was thinking about this today. Like, people don't collect the 10-inch era, which for jazz, which is, it's basically the early 50s. And if you think about like when jazz was like great, it's the 50s. So if a lot of it, you're kind of missing out on half the decade if you don't collect the 10 inches, although sometimes they were reissued. The great stuff was reissued, but it's just funny that it seems like there's very few people that are interested in the early 50s 10-inch, and then going even further back with 78s in the 40s and 30s and 20s and teens. I don't know. I'll say that hearing that you picked up that Audio Technica and the cart seems like a pretty, somewhat affordable way to experience it. And
there's probably carts, 78 carts cheaper than the 2M, but it wasn't that much more. But I think it was that much more sound wise. It wasn't that much more of a price, but the sound is a lot better.
Yeah.
The AT table, like, pretty affordable.
Yeah.
If anyone, I think, Mike, this history, but if anyone knows the significance of this one.
I can't. You read it to us. We can't really see.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
a little blurry.
This is I have a whole set of all the Claude Thornhill tracks, like Snowfall. I don't know if you can see that. These are all Gil Evans's first arrangements.
Okay, yeah.
So
I haven't gotten into Thornhill, but I do know that he was important in terms of like who came through and his style at the time. I haven't dug into him though, but I know that there's a pretty interesting history with him. Chris, do you have Thornhill?
Claude Thornhill?
Yes.
I have some of his stuff on I'm trying to think of his earliest
Trend. Is it on Trend?
Trend, yeah. I have some of this stuff on Trend. It's 10-inch. And honestly, like, some of these early band leaders I've been a big fan of. So I actually do have a couple of those early, like, Trend label Claude Thornhill stuff.
Yeah. I need to take another look at him. At that audio meetup, people were talking about him, and I can't remember exactly who they said came through his group, but I think it was some notable people. So anyway, I do have to shut it down. I love the 78 talk, and I love, the experience you're having, Jacob. It's really just cool to hear how you're kind of connecting with it.
Yeah, and and not just because they were his records, but like I'm also getting turned on to a lot of new music. Maurice Rocco, Cozy Cole, and Billy Taylor.
Oh yeah, Cozy Cole, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And the coolest thing is this is like this was the store that he bought it at in Berkeley, and this is, you know, they were hand stamping right on these sleeves, and it's a store that's obviously long gone. This was in the 40s, but like I know exactly where he bought it.
It is kind of wild to think that they didn't think to create a design for, and they had the albums which had artwork, or something, right? I mean, they did have covers, but like the regular loose shellacs, they just put out in regular, you know, label sleeves, which is just interesting. You know, then the LP came out, and I guess that, you know, inspired people to think it through a little differently.
And the fact that they would just chunk like ink stamp right on the sleeve. It's kind of like when you buy a used record and they put a price tag right on the album jacket instead of like on the plastic wrap or something. It's like, come on, like now I gotta work hard to take that off. You can't unstamp an ink stamp on the paper sleeve, you know?
Yeah. The worst is when there's something stuck to, like a price sticker stuck to the label on the disc, and then you pull it up and it rips the label. That's happened to me, you know. So sometimes I'll just leave it. I do try to get those up if I can, but if I think it's going to make it worse, I will leave it. But all right, well,
that's basically. Oh, that's basically just what I've been doing. Is like five, however many I could fit in a day, just sitting there cleaning it, cataloging it, listen to it, move on to the next one.
Oh, all right. Hold on. One last shill thing I'll do for myself here is I did start this Substack, and last time here I have 95 subscribers. I have 3 articles up and more that I'm working on. So I'll just drop a link. It's also in the description, but follow and, you know, check out my writing. It's something I'm really enjoying putting together. It just kind of adds another dimension to how I can communicate about, you know, what I'm listening to. And in some ways it's way more effective, I feel like, rather than like jump on a screen and do a solo video and like just talk about a single record. In some cases, I feel like the writing allows you to kind of move through it quicker and still kind of, you know, show people cool stuff. So anyway, I'm just experimenting with it, but there's definitely really nice benefits. So Chris, I expect you'll be on Substack writing soon.
I would love to, but also like I'm all in on your Substack. So no. So I recommend following Mike's Substack as I think about potentially diving in myself.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And there's other people on there that I'm engaging with, and there's like drama, like there's like some interesting things going on, but I feel like it's a burgeoning community, at least for record.
All the VC drama is embodied in the Substack as well.
I won't go into detail, but like one thing came up in my feed, and there was one writer calling out another writer in like a really direct way, and then responding. It was pretty intense. So there's, you know, still people are opinionated for sure, no matter what platform you're on. But
yeah, and Roberto, definitely a collab. There's definitely a collab coming. So
yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining. We'll see you next week, and I think we might have some other stuff in the pipeline for this coming week on the channel. Chris, thanks for joining. Jacob, thanks for joining as well. We'll see you all later.
Thanks,
bye
guys.
now.